OTS News. My name is Mean Marky D. Pile driving geeks since 1973. The biggest mark in the IWC. Tonight on AEW Dynamite. Am I looking at this correct, Dana? Christian Cage is on the show tonight. Sir Brian Cage, or Johnny Cage, or Nicholas Cage, or Cage-Free Chickens at Titus's farm. Christian Cage, right? Okay. She got it right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Christian Cage makes his in-ring debut tonight on Dynamite. He steps into the ring for the first time on Dynamite against Frankie Kazarian. Will there be any ring rust on old Christian Cage? We will find out tonight on Dynamite. Also, the Lucha Brothers and the Laredo Kid. They battle Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers in some six-man tag team action. And MJF has a gift for the Pinnacle. I wonder what that is. Speaking of gifts, Thunder Rosa is going to give Jesse the gift of a closed fist when they meet face-to-face sometime this summer. In other news, ladies and gentlemen, by the sounds of it or lack thereof, of course, I had to say something, man, with this fucking noise. God, a guy can't work around here, man. Oh, I thought the construction team actually fell asleep. Coming out of Monday Night Raw, I thought they were put into a coma with how bad that show was on Monday night, but here they are, drilling and hammering away and making noise. God, I can't wait for this goddamn fucking box to be finished, man. Hopefully you creeps out there thoroughly enjoy it and appreciate it. Tonight's drink special at the bar, ladies and gentlemen, is the Super Kick Party Double IPA. If you guys want to know what it feels like to take a double super kick from the Young Bucks, then believe me, man, go have a couple of these bad boys, and you'll be laying right on your back like Jesse will be laying on his back once Thunder Rosa gets a hold of him. And tonight's food special, Titus has a good one tonight, folks. It is T.O.'s. That's Titus O'Neil, clowns. Warrior Award-winning Titus O'Neil. He's got his T.O. bacon mac and cheeseburger. This is an 80-20 ground beef patty. Mac and cheese, bacon, lettuce, onions, tomato, with his chipotle aioli sauce on a garlic buttered brioche bun. If that is a mouthful, wait till you see the size of this fucking burger, folks. Titus spares no expense. Enough of me. Let's get on with the show. Go grab your burgers. Go grab your drinks. It is time for the AEW Dynamite Post Show with your host, JD from New York and Edgar's Beach. Yes.
Anarchy and the return of Kris Statlander. We are live, man. AEW Dynamite tonight saw the in-ring debut of Christian Cage. Did he look better than Edge? We're going to talk about it tonight. Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall and the drama with the Nightmare family. I gotta ask, man, do you care? And if you don't care, I don't blame you. And the Pinnacle. MJF leads the Pinnacle tonight right into an inner circle trap. Are we headed towards blood and guts? Plus your AEW news and rumors tonight. We're going to have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because this is the only podcast you need on your Wednesday night. This is your AEW Dynamite post show on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for March 31st, 2021. I am your host, JD from New York. I am joined by my very good friend, Jesse. What is going on, man?
Come on, brother. How you feel, man?
I'm all right, man. I'm a little tired, but...
Tired from what?
I don't know, man. I think I'm wrestled out. I really am. I gotta get some sleep before WrestleMania week, man. I'll be complaining even more so than I'm afraid.
Yeah, you about to get more wrestling, man. You better hunker down, buddy.
I know, man. Dynamite tonight. Listen, it wasn't bad. You know, it was one of those shows that we always kind of talk about. You know, the lulls of Dynamite. Not every show could be a grand slam, but the one thing I did notice, Jesse, tonight, in the middle of what I thought was a decent show. There was some good, there was some bad. I think I'm over, and I don't want to get ranty on it because I feel like I've complained about it a lot on the show. I don't like the fact that AEW Dynamite is doing what WWE does during all these big shows. You know, and this is just a regular Dynamite. I feel like they just put everybody on the show just to get everybody on the show. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of clusterfuck, a lot of faction warfare, and I feel like it just muddies Dynamite up. And I really wish that now with Elevation on YouTube, I really wish they would save this shit for Elevation and AEW Dark on Monday and Tuesday and just leave Dynamite to the top tier level performers. I mean, it's just all over the place. And that's the one big takeaway for me from this show. How did you feel about tonight's show, and what'd you think about it?
I thought it was a good show. I can pick it apart, like any other show, and we will. But what can I say, man? Kris Statlander came back.
That's a big move right there.
Yeah, I mean, that alone. They gave you 3 stars for the show for me. Kris Statlander's back.
Yeah, that's a big move, and we're obviously going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. That's a big move. I did not anticipate her coming back tonight, which Tony Khan does very well. This was obviously kept secret, and nobody really said anything about it, though this show was taped on Thursday last week, so that's good there. That's a big move for the women's division. We're going to talk about that a little bit later and what she brings back to what is now looking like a very promising women's division with Tay Conti coming up and Shida, and then obviously you got Jade Cargill coming up, so Red Velvet as well. You got a lot of women there that are really, really going to take this division to the next level after what Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker have done. Decent show. Wasn't Dynamite's best effort tonight, but like I said, we're going to go over everything tonight on the podcast. Thank you guys so very much for joining me, man. We just hit 1,000 live viewers on the live stream tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us on your Wednesday night. A little rainy here in New York City, so buckle on in, grab a hot beverage on a chilly end of March evening here on Wednesday. We got some AEW news and rumors as well. I got some Tessa Blanchard news. I got news on the AEW women's division. I got AEW plans for the TNT title. And I also have Britt Baker news and what she said last week in regards to Mick Foley. So look forward to that. Also, John Silver injury update. And Thea Trinidad looks like she's not immediately joining AEW, as Dave Meltzer is reporting that she has signed a contract, but it is not with AEW. So we will go over all of that a little bit later on in the show as well. Follow us on social media. I am JD from New York 206 on Twitter. That's JD from NY 206 on Twitter. Jesse, if you guys want to go follow Jesse, you see his @ right there, right underneath him in the layout on the screen. Go follow him on social media as well. If you guys want to hit that subscribe button, I would appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's going to be a busy WrestleMania week. Going to be covering Dynamite, TakeOver, and everything in between, all the way up until WrestleMania. So if you guys want the best in the IWC, look no further than OTS here on YouTube. Make sure you guys go and hit that thumbs up. Every little bit helps, even though YouTube is taking away the dislikes very, very soon, if not already. But I don't...
What do you mean?
They're taking away the dislike button. YouTube is taking away the dislike button. I don't know why.
How about they figure out a way to get rid of trolls?
Why don't they just take everything away? Who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck if you like the video or dislike the video. Really. I've only been saying hit the thumbs up because it helps out the video. Now, I was under the impression that every rating helped out the video, whether you liked it or disliked it. Now you're actively taking dislikes away. Or maybe the dislikes are still going to be counted, but not going to be shown when they're watching a video. I have no idea how it's working. I read it today. They're experimenting with taking the dislike button away. I don't know.
We'll see how it goes.
No, whatever. It is what it is. But make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Again, every little bit helps on the channel. If you guys want to go and support, definitely there are ways to do that. Number one, patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Go and do that. We got some brand new patrons that just signed up. I reached out to all of them. You guys are in line for some really nice stuff, some new t-shirts and some new mugs heading your way. Make sure you guys go and get your t-shirts on Bonfire. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of Off the Script. Go and get your t-shirts there. Mouth Masker, still selling the black Off the Script masks, black and white. That's mouthmasker.com/OTS. And if you guys want to go and check out all the other videos that you might have missed, like I said, everything you need is linked down below in the description. And today's show is sponsored by Dr. Squatch, drsquatch.com. And you guys are going to use code SCRIPT at checkout. Soaps, they got it. Shampoos and conditioners, they got it. Deodorant, toothpaste, they got it. If you guys want the best in men's hygiene, look no further than Dr. Squatch, drsquatch.com. You guys are going to use code SCRIPT at checkout to save 20% off. Excellent deal. I use it every day. I would not be telling you guys if I didn't use it. Go and get yourself some Dr. Squatch. It's worth every penny. Jesse, want to start right at the top. Christian Cage.
All right.
Christian Cage, his in-ring AEW debut tonight against Frankie Kazarian, opened the show. And I think you and I are in agreement, my friend. Christian Cage physically looks fucking fantastic.
He looks to be in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
I mean, when he came out through the tunnel, I looked at him. I was like, he looks like the same Christian I remember when he was in a full-time role.
Yeah.
You know, he looks great. Took his shirt off. He still looks great. The guy looks fantastic all around.
Yeah, he looked great. And I really like that they had him open the show. I think he was going to be under the microscope for a lot of people like us in the industry. And they put him against the right guy, in my opinion, after all was said and done in the ring with Frankie Kazarian, somebody who knows very well. And they ended up having a great match, almost went 20 minutes. And Christian Cage gets the victory here, obviously in his in-ring debut on Dynamite over Frankie Kazarian. Jesse, through most of this match, Christian was on the receiving end until the very end, and then he started to hit his signature moves here. I told you via text tonight when we were going back and forth during the show that I had a lot to say about this. I'm on the fence. I don't want to sit here and not like it, but the only thing I could really look at as far as Christian Cage is concerned is the fact that this went 20 minutes. Now, before I dive into what I have to say here, I want to get your opinion on this quickly. Was it right for Christian to go out there immediately, first night, in-ring debut on Dynamite, go 20 minutes in the opening match? Was that the right move for him, or do you think the match should have been toned down a little bit and some time deducted from the overall 20-minute match?
Yeah, see, all right, so he came out and the guy looked fantastic. He looked like he was in fantastic shape. So I was impressed. So when the match started, I was ready to hunker down and see what he had, but then the bell rang, man. And it just did not look good. It didn't look good for me. The guy seemed like he was completely fucking blown up and gassed in the first 5 minutes. And all of that offense he was taking for that 20 minutes, it just made it look like he was just beat down. He was gasping. He was trying to figure out what to do with this guy. I'm not figure out what to do. I don't mean like that, but trying to figure out how he was going to catch his breath to get the next spot going and things like that. But the match with Frankie, I mean, the match was great. To be honest, I think it was just great because Frankie carried it. Yeah. I mean, I really do. I mean, I think Frankie did everything in his power to make Edge look as best as he possibly could, and he did. But the one thing you can't account for is just physical conditioning. In ring wise, I mean, he looks like him. He knows how to wrestle. That's never gonna be said and judged by anybody about if Jay can wrestle or not. The guy can wrestle. It's just a matter of should he be doing it at this point. And it's hard to say because in this match you could say, well, it was his first night match, first match back, give him some slack. Yeah. But I'm gonna say, well, if that's the case, why did we go so hard like this? I mean, look, jobber match, anything, something. I mean, if you want the first impression to be the absolute best. Listen.
The first impression, Jesse, I feel like, I agree with everything you said about him coming out looking fantastic, but I even told you when we were going back and forth about the show tonight, the outwork everyone moniker and the catchphrase, I'm failing to see it after night one because you go right back to what you just said, and I absolutely agree because I seen it as well, and I think many people seen it as well tonight. He was gassed after 5 minutes. So you're not really going to outwork everyone when I noticeably see you gassed in a match against Frankie Kazarian after 5 minutes. Now, on the flip side of that, I don't know how much of that was him playing up and telling a story in the ring. Maybe he is not really physically fit after 7 years, which is a valid excuse, no question about it. But the thing is, Christian is of the old school. Christian is a great storyteller. The fact that it went 20 minutes, I could really attribute to him just kind of going in there after 7 years. And I'm not going to really nail him on the fact that he was gassed after 5 minutes. Maybe that comes with the territory after being away for 7 years. And maybe that's something he'll work on and get a little bit better as he goes on through this run. But with that said, I don't mind that he was gassed because everybody's going to fall back on, oh man, don't be so hard on him. He was away for 7 years. But this is a first night, so I'm not going to really be too hard on him. But if I see this 3 months from now and he's gassed after 5 minutes, then we're going to have a problem. Yeah. I mean,
first impressions, man.
Mm-hmm.
First and fucking impressions. What can I fucking say?
Yeah.
Don't put him in this kind of spot. Here's what I took from it. It took him everything within his being and everything within his soul to just barely scrape by and beat Frankie Kazarian. And he came out trying to challenge Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you came out and said a lot of things to some big people in the company, and when you got in the ring, you barely scraped out of that spot with a win over Frankie Kazarian. It didn't look right. It didn't feel right. I was expecting an exhibition of sorts. You know what I'm saying? So like, okay, let's see what he got. He put on a good match, but it wasn't the caliber of a match I would expect from somebody who was built up the way he was built up and the way he was coming out and challenging. That wasn't the kind of match I was expecting.
Yeah, I'm not even going to nail the entire situation on that either. With him pretty much coming out on night one after the pay-per-view and holding up the AEW title, clearly, they're going in that direction. That's what they want, one of their end goals to be here. They want to get that match, whether Tony Khan wants that match, Omega wants that match, or Christian wants that match. But I don't really mind it for now that he went the distance with Frankie Kazarian, and you throw him that into the situation where he held up the belt. How's he going to challenge Omega if he can't take down Frankie Kazarian pretty easily? Again, after 7 years, it's his first match. And maybe it's a storyline, or maybe it's a story that AEW inevitably will try to tell, where he does look like a great wrestler. He still feels like the Christian of old. He's 47 years old, and he gets his ass handed to him through most of the match. He comes back, and he's got this gritty, never die attitude, and he always ends up pulling out a big victory in the end. Maybe they're going to use that as part of a storyline for Christian moving forward, where he's back, nobody could beat him, in comes Omega, and then they have a barn burner of a match, and then he inevitably falls to Omega. But that's the basis of how his character is going to be built moving on forward.
Yeah, it could be. That's a lot of acrobatics to get through that scenario, but I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, I'm just trying to I'm trying to be positive without shitting on it completely. You got to give credit to Frankie Kazarian, no question.
Frankie's awesome
with what he did. He was great. He was the perfect dance partner for Christian tonight. And the one biggest thing I liked about this, more so than anything else on the show, it was an actual wrestling match. They slowed the pace down, the facial expressions, selling the moves, selling the story. It wasn't overly flippy or divey. It was just a standard, old school, great wrestling match between two great veterans who know their craft inside and out. And it didn't really rely on the theatrics. It didn't really try to overcompensate and overdo things. It was just two guys who know how to tell a great story, sell the moves, let the match breathe. The pacing was right. That's what I liked about it more so than anything else on this show, because you got the main event, you got the Arcade Anarchy. It's all over the place. You got the six-man tag with the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid versus the team of the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega, all over the place. You can't even fucking tell what's going on. You got Cody and QT Marshall. That ended in a major beatdown of Cody Rhodes and the Nightmare Family drama at the end. It was just a great wrestling match, and it flowed nicely. That's what I liked about it more so than anything else on this show.
It did. I mean, it was. Honestly, I would have put it somewhere else on the show.
Yeah,
I would have opened the show with tonight's main event,
or even the Lucha Brothers, or even the Lucha Brothers,
or even that. Yeah. I would have started with something with a lot higher of an energy level than this. Something. I mean, the main event was chaotic and crazy, but it was fun and it was upbeat. I would have started off with that. I would have put this match in the middle of the show somewhere. I mean, I wouldn't have bookmarked the show with this match at all. At all.
Yeah, I can see why you would say that.
Before we go on, the chat is losing their hearing or something. I never called Christian Edge. So, I mean, the second, you know how people get, the second they think they heard a mistake, they can't wait to run it down your throat. I never called him Edge.
You said Jay.
I called him Jay.
Yeah.
Which is his name. And some one idiot thought they heard Edge and then ran with it. And he said Edge. I never said Edge. I called him Jay. I'm used to calling him Jay because for years I've been calling him Jay listening to his podcast because he's been not wrestling for years.
Yeah.
So his name is Jay. I didn't say Edge. Sorry about that. Move on.
Now, the inevitable comparison here between Edge and Christian, who do you think looked better? I think we've gotten enough of Edge to see, what he's all about in his return after 9 years. And I didn't keep it secret on what I thought about Edge and his appearance during his Jey Uso match on SmackDown. He's 47, 40 years old. He looked like he was 60. He didn't really look. He looked a lot older, and I made, the point to me, you're going to put someone like that in the main event with Roman Reigns. It doesn't really resonate to me as a main event of WrestleMania. That's why they added Daniel Bryan there. But, the inevitable comparisons now will happen. Who do you think looked better? As far as what you've seen from Edge and what you've seen from Christian tonight, I'm going to go and say I thought Christian looked better than Edge has looked since his return to the WWE. To be quite honest with you,
I think if we could have put the two of them together, if I could have got Christian's look into Edge's performance, I think we'd have one complete wrestler right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we really would. And I only say Edge's performance because he's had more time to get some of the ring rust out. He's been in the ring a few more times. He's probably been working out a little bit longer in the ring as well that I don't know about. But we've seen more of Christian, more of Edge on TV. So he will look smooth. I mean, after his first match, I wouldn't expect anybody to come out in their first TV match and, look fantastic. I'm not expecting that. But the cardio can be helped. You don't need to work in a ring to get your cardio up. And it just seemed like he was really gassed through most of that match.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to wait and see what happens there with that. I'm not going to really be too hard on that situation there, but I did see a lot of people mention it on social media tonight while we were watching the show. Jesse, do you think that Christian being back and wrestling this type of style in AEW, which honestly is a breath of fresh air, and to me, honestly, I think it's needed on Dynamite to kind of cut through all of the just hyper fucking fast-paced action that is incredibly difficult at times to keep up with. That's the type of wrestling that I like more so than anything is what Christian does. And, the old guy, the old school guys, they slow it down and, you tell a great story through body language, selling of the moves, facial expressions, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think that Christian's going to bring a new level of, holy shit, we got to step up our game in AEW behind the scenes in that locker room?
No, he's not bringing that kind of work rate just yet.
No. Okay.
No, not at all. And the thing about it, that wouldn't even be a focus. It wouldn't even be something that someone's looking for. Like, let's see if he's gonna keep up with the work rate of everybody else. So that's not something we will be looking at if he didn't come out and make it literally his damn motto. So, all right, I want to see who you're gonna come out here and outwork. So, first match, he didn't outwork Frankie. So let's go on and see the second one. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, you didn't outwork this person. Who are you outworking? So far, he's 0 for 1.
Yeah, that I don't really, still, again, that you mentioned, I don't really get the outwork everyone moniker, even after tonight. Like, I wish they would have held off on that and made him at least, a regular on the show and get some matches underneath his belt and then unveil something like that, because that's a very high, tippy top of the mountain that you're really striving for there, man. And we haven't seen you in 7 years. So it's like, you can't come in immediately and say you're going to outwork everybody, be 47 years old, and then be gassed after 5 minutes. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense. That's
a bold statement considering the company and the locker room you're in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very bold statement, man. So we'll see. Maybe he works it. I can't see this guy at his age getting his momentum behind him, getting the ring rust out, getting his groove, and outworking the people in the AEW locker room. I cannot see that.
And we'll see, man. You know, it's gonna be a very interesting journey to be on with Christian. I wish him the best. I do think at the end of the day that we're all a fan of his work and we want to see him succeed. Obviously, he wants to write his own chapter to close his career, the last final chapter of his career, rather than, you know, sit at home and collect a paycheck by WWE and then be told, no, you're not going to be back in the ring. He looked great. He has every reason to be back in the ring because he looks fucking awesome. But with what he is going to bring to AEW, I'm very interested to see where they go from here. The debut, to me, was still botched. I think AEW rather could have done a much better job at presenting him and unveiling him and not making it such a big deal because it obviously was a disappointment to everybody. But, you know, regardless, we are here, and I wish him nothing but the best. But the match tonight with Frankie was great. Frankie went for a crossface chicken wing, very Bob Backlund-esque. Christian turned it around, went for the kill switch. Christian escaped the suplex, and he had a reverse DDT. He went up to the top rope, and Kazarian rolled out of the way of a diving headbutt by Christian. Kazarian went for the crossface again, being that Christian escaped it the first time, locking in the chicken wing this time, but he did not get the legs wrapped around Christian while he was laying on the mat. So Christian's foot reached the ropes because Frankie didn't have the hold locked in completely. Christian rolled up Kazarian. There was a nice little combination of moves there, and Frankie hit a beautiful spinning springboard leg drop for a near fall. They went to the top rope. They fought until Kazarian attacked with a headbutt, and then Kazarian followed up with his flux capacitor for another near fall. Christian avoided a springboard leg drop and landed a frog splash for a near fall. Very old school Christian move. He rolled out of a chicken wing attempt again, sent Kazarian shoulder first into the corner before hitting the kill switch for his first victory in an AEW ring. Awesome stuff there, and we will obviously monitor it as Christian moves on and gets some victories underneath his belt, which, if they're still going to do the match, I hope he gets himself a little bit better before he gets in the ring with Omega. Because if you're going to put that match together, I want it to be the very best it could be.
Something I want everybody to do going forward, even starting with the one that he did tonight. Whenever you watch a Christian match, count how many times, or take a shot, or, go and, slap your girlfriend every time that Christian Cage tries to go for the unprettier and it doesn't work. Every time that you get a fast-paced match, boom, 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 then there's unprettier time, then we have to stop and didn't do it, and then they go back, and 5 minutes later come back. Didn't do it. It's every time. I see nothing's changed about a Christian match. Just watch it going forward.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's so redundant and terrible. It just, I don't care what kind of pace the match is at. I don't care if it's at a slow pace or at a fast pace. Usually if he's going for his finisher, it's somewhat of a up-tempo pace. So when you got to slow it down to try to, simulate this finisher, it just kills the mood for me. It's like, okay, now he's going to go for the unprettier. Wait for it.
Yeah.
Broke out. And then, okay, wait for it again. Oh, here it comes.
Listen, man, I'm not
fucking tired of it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. That may be a you thing there. I haven't watched enough Christian Cage in the last decade to really be upset at something like that. Now, if I see it happen, time and time again on AEW television, I'll reference back to this. And
the messed up thing is, I already put it in your head. You can't unsee it now.
Well, there you go.
It's there.
I have, again, 7 years is a long time to be away. I really haven't gone back and watched any Christian matches for probably 15 years, to be honest with you, probably longer than that. So I got to see what happens there. But that may be a you thing, like I said. So we'll keep an eye on that, as well as Christian hopefully get some victories underneath his belt. Darby Allin and Sting. No Sting tonight. We got a video feature on Darby and Sting. Darby talked about Matt Hardy's body breaking down, and now his insecurities are on display. He wore a Hardy mask and started imitating Matt Hardy was Darby. He said all the money in the world cannot buy him real trust, real friends, or real respect. He said he'll have to earn his respect because your money doesn't mean shit to me. And then in the end, he burned the Matt Hardy mask. So it looks like, Jesse, we may be getting for just a small little feud or one-off title match, Darby defending against Matt Hardy, that TNT Championship.
Darby against Matt Hardy?
Darby against Matt Hardy, yeah.
It kind of seems like a well, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's a predictable ending because Matt Hardy is getting pushed. He does have a nice little stable. And I could see them putting a mid-card title on him while he's running the stable. So, okay, I take back my first thoughts. Okay,
yeah, I could see that. You know, it was actually talked about on The Observer as well. Alvarez said this, and I quote, Brian Alvarez, that is. So it looks like we're getting Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin for the TNT title sometime soon. Meltzer then chimes in and says, in fact, that is happening. I don't know if it's going to be the week after, but it is happening. So that's is something that they may be leaning towards. And we got enough time between now and Double or Nothing where it could be a nice one-off feud before Darby inevitably goes on to Lance Archer, which I am definitely in favor of, with Archer taking that title like we talked about in recent weeks. But a one-off feud with Matt Hardy, I mean, you know, Darby is heavily compared to Jeff Hardy. So, you know, working with Matt Hardy might be like Matt working with his own brother in some ways. Yeah,
I can see that. I mean, I mean, Jim Ross never passes on a moment to point that similarity out.
Yeah.
You know, his favorite word anytime he sees, you know, Darby's enigma.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it was on, was it BTE? I think it was on BTE too. They flat out said, you know, well, they say that Darby's just like my brother. Yeah, it was BTE. Yeah. And so they flat out said it. They get to cross a lot of the lines they can't cross on TV on BTE. So it's kind of cool. You know, they get to call.
They get to be themselves and say what they're really thinking that they can't really say on TV.
Well, yeah, I mean, they get to, but they get to call like former WWE wrestlers by their copywritten name over there and get away with it. You know, they can just say all kinds of shit like that. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, he did say that, you know, because Darby, they say he's just like my brother, you know, Jeff and everything else. I was like, they wouldn't say that on TV, but I guess they get to say it here. So yeah. You know, and it was, Sammy's blog, Carlito was on there, and he was on there doing the Carlito gimmick.
I did see that. That's obviously going to get people talking about his whereabouts, Carlito's whereabouts, maybe joining AEW, but I don't think that's the case or not. I just think it was all in good fun.
Yeah, and if he does, I don't think he will, because if he does, I don't think that gimmick is going to be able to come with him.
Oh, what, Carlito's gimmick?
Yeah.
Eating an apple?
There's just the gimmick itself, the IP of the gimmick. I mean, you can't come out and do the same mannerisms and everything else of the gimmick and then give yourself a slightly different name.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Yeah, you can't do that. No, you can't do that.
Why not? Everybody eats an apple. Just come up with a different catchphrase.
Because if they wanted to be just anal about it, they could take them to court and prove the similarities and win. So.
We'll see. Listen, I would be in favor of Carlito joining AEW. I think Carlito looks fucking great.
He does look great. I think they would use him the right way, so I wouldn't mind it.
And we'll see what happens. And like I said, I think it was all in good fun. What is not in good fun, Jesse, is Cody Rhodes, your favorite professional wrestler on the male side of things. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, versus QT Marshall. Special guest referees Arn Anderson. This is an unsanctioned exhibition, so this match does not count towards anybody's records in AEW. All of the Nightmare Factory trainees were outside the ring. We got the Gun Club. We got my boy Lee Johnson's out there. You remember Lee Johnson, Jesse, right? The guy that you shit on about 5 weeks in a row over here, right? Lee Johnson?
Yeah, show me the clip, buddy.
Yeah. Listen, it's there. It's there. I'll find it. I'll find it for you.
Sure.
They're all at ringside. This is
put it next to the one of me calling Christian Edge tonight.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you know, people are gonna go back and fucking timestamp this shit in the fucking video when it publishes to YouTube.
I hope so.
Okay.
Good.
Right. We'll see. Either that or we got 1,300 trolls in the chat tonight. I don't know.
That sounds about normal. Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, this was, like I said, an unsanctioned exhibition match. We went to commercial break. Cody was on the defense side of things. He turned the tables on QT with a body slam before going for a figure four. he opted to not apply the figure 4 because he did say the week prior that if he does get the figure 4 on him, he's going to let go of the hold immediately. He's not going to be a jerk and be in there to injure you. So he had every opportunity to do it tonight, and he just opted not to do it. And he did the same with the Crossroads. He had QT in the Crossroads because he had been one step ahead of QT, got him in the Crossroads. He opted not to do the finishing move on him. So Marshall was kind of perplexed by this, and he was so upset at this because he felt Cody was kind of, outschooling him here and being bravado and macho in his in-ring ability here. But Marshall slapped the shit out of him, and he missed a crossbody on a follow-up after the slap. Marshall then got so angry that he punched Arn Anderson right in the face, and all the trainees ran in the ring to make the save here, but they all turned on the veterans and coaches, Lee Johnson, and we had all these guys in there. We had, what's his name? Aaron Solo there, no longer Mr. Bailey in there. Who else was in there, Jesse?
We had Anthony Ogogo.
And we had Nick Comoroto. Nick Comoroto was in there as well.
Nick Comoroto, Anthony Ogogo, and man, Aaron Solo as a heel is kind of coming off to me just kind of like how it was when Bailey turned heel. It's kind of weird. It doesn't make sense to me, but it also looks like it might come around at some point.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I haven't seen enough of him to even register an opinion yet because I don't watch all the other content that AEW puts out. But with all of this happening with the Nightmare Family and QT Marshall, QT was on the ramp, and apparently all these 3 guys, they attacked the remaining Nightmare Family members on the outside. Johnson came into the ring, and Jesus Christ, I know Lee Johnson wants to go out there and show everybody that he's the up and coming star and he wants to do good by the company, but the way he was powerbombed by Nick Comoroto on the stage, he was launched, and he just almost like kind of was in mid-flight trying to oversell this move, and Jesus Christ, you couldn't pay me enough money to take a powerbomb on that stage like the way he did. He bounced off the goddamn stage, and QT Marshall was rubbing his boot in his face. So Dustin Rhodes then came into the ring. Comoroto then took the steel steps from the outside and launched them on top of the stage. Dustin Rhodes was bloodied at this point. He took a pile driver from QT Marshall on the steps, so there was blood everywhere. He took Dustin's blood and smeared it off all over Aaron Solo's shirt. And then Anthony Ogogo was in the ring, and he dropped Cody with some body shots, which looked great. And Cody went down. So then they propped up Cody on the steel steps, and Marshall was about to crack him with a steel chair shot, but Red Velvet came out of nowhere and got in the way and saved Cody Rhodes from impending doom here. So all the students turned heel to join Marshall, and this was Anthony Ogogo, Nick Comoroto, and Aaron Solo. And the baby faces were the Gun Club, Dustin, Cody, and Lee Johnson. Jesse, I didn't give a shit about this, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I wish everybody great success here. The more stars AEW develops, the better. That's exactly what they need to do. But all of this coming off, decent angle. I said last week, I feel like this could have been saved for somebody a little bit bigger than QT Marshall. But all this does, in my eyes, is give us an angle that I don't really give a shit about because I'm not invested in any of these guys yet, especially QT Marshall. He's a jobber at best on AEW. And all it does is give us yet another fucking faction on Dynamite. And we have nothing but fucking factions on this show. So please explain to me why I should care about yet another faction on Dynamite when this angle doesn't really mean much in the end.
Yeah, this might be, I don't know, maybe I'm alone in this one. Maybe I might get heat, I might reverse heat for this one, but I kind of like where this is going. And I don't hate QT Marshall. But again, that is because I do watch other shows other Dynamite. So I kind of like this little bit of a, well, not a little bit, it's a complete heel turn. I kind of like the heel turn so far, but not only that, I like Anthony Ogogo, his look. his character, his gimmick. I like him as a heel. Solo, I'm interested in. Johnson as a heel, we'll see. But it's Camarado just looks like a heel anyway. I don't hate this, and like I said, like I texted you earlier, Cody's getting on my nerve, but I don't hate Cody. I'm not getting sick of him, as a wrestler. I'm kind of sick of him as a babyface. I kind of want to see him just turn heel. He's starting to become the Roman Reigns for me before Roman Reigns turned. The guy the way he's pushed and the way he's booked and the way he's portrayed and the way we see him, I'm kind of tired of seeing him win. I don't like his babyface gimmick at all. When QT turned on and started, I was rooting for QT Marshall.
Well, that's a you thing, that's a you thing with Cody Rhodes. I don't look at Cody Rhodes that way. Cody Rhodes doesn't bother me. Do I think he puts himself in situations like we talked about on the last couple of shows? He puts himself in situations just to get in a situation on the show. Yeah. He doesn't need to be. He doesn't need to be in half the shit that he's in. Right,
but since he is, and he's always here, and he's always showing up and putting himself in these big spot situations, I'm happy to see. It's good to see that he's putting much under recognized talent over in this particular feud with QT, with Solo, with Camarado, with Ogogo. These guys are going to get looked at because these are the guys that turn on the guy that gets all of this attention. So if nothing else, they'll get some eyes on them. So they just have to be talented enough to keep the eyes on them. So like I said, after this match, I'm just happy to see Cody putting someone else over.
Yeah, you know what I see from this? I think Cody and QT and Dustin, I'm assuming all three of them collectively train at the Nightmare Factory. What I'm seeing here is there's just limited spots for everybody. Some of these guys may be ready now. Like Lee Johnson may be near ready to be on TV and be further along than he is. Nick Camarado, the guy looks absolutely fucking fantastic. That guy, with him, I hope that they do something with him. He's got such a great look. Aaron Solo, I don't know how far along he is. Anthony Ogogo, you say that he's a bright prospect on AEW Dark. I haven't really watched some of his work yet. So
let me stop you. I haven't seen any of it. I haven't seen him work in the ring at all. He was just on commentary, and his mic work, his commentary work, and his gimmick is great. So that will be fine. And now we know he's a fucking athlete. He's a professional fucking boxer.
Yeah.
The guy, he can move in a ring. It's just gonna matter of does it translate to wrestling, and it'll be like a lot of these other stars who come over and who are professional athletes, but they still got to learn the trade. We'll see how that goes. I haven't seen him in a ring yet. Aaron Solo can work his ass off. Him working is not a question. It's the gimmick. It's whether or not the gimmick as a heel will get over or not.
Yeah.
Same thing for Lee Johnson. You can wrestle, but we don't know if this heel gimmick will work. We'll get to see. Camarado is just a crazy ass fucking. Well, no, he'll be fine. He'll probably be the muscle, the crazy guy, the George the Animal Steel type almost guy, kind of guy, but he'll be fine. The other ones, I want to see what a Go-Go can do in the ring, and the other two, I want to see what they can do with their gimmick. But I think this might go somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't want to put it out there like this is great. You're sleeping on it. No, I'm not backing it like that, but I am looking at it as this might go somewhere.
No, it does have potential. And what I was saying before you went on about a Go-Go, it's better to put these guys in a situation where they're working with themselves instead of taking these guys and putting them against other more established guys on the AEW roster where they suffer a loss. Clearly, the Nightmare Factory is churning out talent. Clearly, Tony Khan likes what he's seeing coming out of the Nightmare Factory. So does Cody, so does Dustin, so does QT Marshall. They want to get these guys some momentum, and there's no better way than to put these guys in the ring with themselves, split the Nightmare family for a little bit, have QT manage his guys, turn them heel, have Cody and Arn manage his portion of the Nightmare family, and they all work together, and we all get to see what they can do together, working together, instead of putting them out there in a losing situation. I think this is where they're going with it, and I think that in itself is going to be very good for everybody involved. It gets QT, who I don't really care about to see in the ring. Well, I don't really want to see him in the ring. It gets him in a trainer / on a need to be in the ring basis when the time calls for Cody, you could take him out of the spotlight and put him in a mentor coaching role and let the kids go in there and show you what they got with each other. I think that's the way that they're going about this. Yeah,
this might work. QT, I mean, I could see why you might not like him. I mean, because again, you don't.
He's just very vanilla, you know.
Well, you don't have the time invested in him like others do who may watch the other shows. But for me, I think he's drawing pretty good heat. I think he's drawing pretty good heel heat. I'm with you as far as working in the ring. You know, if they can keep his ring work to a limited basis, to a big situation type deal for the new faction, and he can do his work on the mic as a management role and something like that. But I can't come out and say that I'm hating QT Marshall. You know, I definitely don't love it, but I'm interested to see where this is going. There is something going on with this Nightmare family that I am not a fan of, though. And it's the fact that it just seems that Red Velvet is just Brandy's stunt double.
Bro, listen, I thought the same exact thing when I was watching her tonight. I didn't even tell you. I thought the same exact. Bro, she is a mirror image of a younger Brandy Rhodes. Like she could do a cosplay of Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah. How can she establish her own personality on the show when basically she's just Brandy stand-in while she's pregnant? It just looks like they're just gonna slide her in anything they have planned for Brandy on TV and just call her Red Velvet.
Yeah.
Brandy went out with her pregnancy. They signed Red Velvet to a full contract. They put her in that high-profile match with Shaq and Cody and Cargill. Now she's coming out to save Cody from getting hit. She's just Brandy at this point. That's literally all she is. She has no personality of her own. She's just Brandy stand-in. And for that, I don't like for her long-term gimmick, because she's good enough to be in her own feud and not just be a part of the road story, you know. But
well, I mean, wasn't Brandy supposed to feud with Jade Cargill anyway? And then Brandy went out and got pregnant, and she announced her pregnancy, and then comes in Red Velvet. So you know, like you said, it's pretty much your Brandy stand-in, and no matter who goes up against, whether it was Brandy or Red Velvet, they're not beating Jade Cargill. So
no, I mean it just makes no sense, but it feels a little forced. Like they're just okay. Well, you can be Brandy now, you know, and she's just so much better than that, you know. If you let her just go, because she can wrestle. I was the first to say, you know, this jobber over here on Dark can actually wrestle, and then she's over on Dynamite. Now she's no longer a jobber. Then she's got a deal. And now we're putting her in Brandy's spot as opposed to making her own path in the company. You know, but don't get me wrong. She could be in a much worse spot. There's much worse. She could be in catering. I mean, she could be in a much worse spot than in a high-profile match with an EVP. You know, so hats off to her. I'm sure she's happy, but she can do so much better. I just hope this doesn't pigeonhole her.
She's going to do a lot better, bro. Red Velvet's going to do a lot better because... Brandy's not bad on the microphone. When she wants to be good, she can be good. But Red Velvet is going to be a lot better than whatever Brandy Rhodes was going to bring to us in the ring from an in-ring aspect. So I'm not afraid. I'm not really confident in Brandy Rhodes where I am confident in Red Velvet to step out of that shadow. Just give her time to do so.
Yeah. You know, it seemed like it's leading to an inevitable Brandy and Red Velvet feud, you know, when she comes back. And that's not. I don't want to see her get caught up in that.
What are we writing like Bruce Pritchard? Is Red Velvet going to get the hots for Cody Rhodes, and Brandy's going to be jealous?
I hope not. But,
I could see it happen if you're Bruce Pritchard, man.
But again, Wrestling 101 is teaching us that eventually this is going to lead to Red Velvet and Brandy feud. So,
well,
we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, she did sign a AEW contract that was on a per date basis, and now it's a little bit more official. She's there permanently with AEW. Specifics of the contract have not been revealed, obviously, but she is now all elite with AEW. I do have news on some of the women. I might as well get into this now, being that Red Velvet obviously is going to be a major factor in that women's division. We got Tessa Blanchard.
I'm sorry, let me cut you. I'm sorry, good, because I have a question about the women.
Yeah.
And maybe you're getting ready to cover it here. And not Dynamite, in Dark, we had God damn it, Diamante. We had Diamante in one-on-one action.
Yep.
No Ivelisse, no mention of Ivelisse. Ivelisse never existed. Diamante has always been by herself. So what is going on with Ivelisse in AEW?
I have no news on Ivelisse whatsoever. I seen Ivelisse just tweet something. I believe it was today, a clip of something from Dark. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if she was. She hasn't been on Dark at all.
Not this week. No.
Yeah, I got no news. I got nothing on Ivelisse.
She was on there semi recently, like a couple of weeks ago, I want to say, but her appearances are getting more scarce, and then just last night it was Diamante commentary never ever even mentioned the name Ivelisse, not once.
It's I haven't heard anything. Maybe it's something personally that she's going through. I don't want to really sit here and insinuate that maybe it's anything else. Like we discussed in the past, like backstage behavior or whatnot. Maybe Tony Khan didn't offer her a contract to AEW. I have no idea.
We'll see. But go ahead. Sorry to cut you.
But Tessa Blanchard, we got news on Tessa Blanchard quickly. She is getting interest from AEW. The Wrestling Observer newsletter noted that there is current interest in AEW about bringing in Daga. Now, Daga is Tessa's husband. So right now, Tessa Blanchard's situation seems to be up in the air, but if they do bring in Daga, they might be looking at Tessa as well. It was noted that the decision to bring Tessa in will ultimately be made based on the perceived value of her to the product versus the negativity and backlash in some quarters, such as a signing would have like this. The past racist allegations and stories of bullying are keeping Blanchard from being signed right now, especially in terms of AEW. You and I both know WWE, they'll turn a fucking blind eye, they'll turn another cheek, and they won't give a shit about her past. They'll bring her on in just so that she doesn't sign with AEW. So they don't care about that. Meltzer says this, and I quote, AEW is a far bigger target for social media backlash, really the biggest of any company right now. And it was noted that Tessa Blanchard went into self-imposed exile. Seriously, she's one of the best wrestlers in the world, female wrestlers in the world, and she's yet to reappear anywhere except for one indie event that she did last year. So Blanchard was recently spotted with Bayley, Sasha Banks, and I believe it was Kalisto as well, training. I don't know who she was training or if she was just training with them. I know they're all good friends, and that could be a sign of her training for some kind of in-ring return. It is unclear where she will end up. So, like you said in the past, Jesse, this is not any new information, and I think we all know this. If AEW does sign Tessa, it's going to be looked at as far as I'm concerned in a more negative light than if she was to sign with WWE. I think they would be under the microscope a lot more than Triple H or Vince McMahon would.
The only reason for that is because they pay so much attention to social media and the backlash. And so WWE will just do it and not care what the backlash is at all. Yeah. So people know that enough of a stir will get a result change instantly. So that's why they are probably going to be more vocal about it.
Yeah.
How will it go? I don't know. I think it might not go well.
Listen, man, we can't be playing these games forever, man. She's eventually going to have to cut. She's 25 years old. You're not going to sign Tessa Blanchard for what she did in the past. Well, I mean, time has got to heal eventually some of these wounds.
Well, right. So if you let me explain and shut the fuck up, maybe we can get to that part. Go
ahead.
So look. It's like a rubber band effect. Everybody knows that Tessa Blanchard has heat, so she went away and hasn't been really seen anywhere. So now it's like everybody just waiting for the first one to sign her, and the longer she takes off, the more she's kind of basically admitting that she is not right in this whole situation, and she's trying to wait for heat to go away. That rubber band is just getting further and further apart, and then when she signs, it's probably gonna be let go. And it's going to snap in the instant, and it's going to be a whole lot of backlash for it. That's not to say that I'm trying to say that I don't think she should get a job anywhere. I'm trying to say that I don't think that it's going to go off as super smooth as they think that, or they're hoping that it will, because it's the more that she tries to lay low like this, it feels like she's trying to help cover up something. Like, okay, I didn't do anything wrong, but I'm gonna lay low till the heat dies down. If you did nothing wrong, why are you acting like that you did? So it's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away with time. She can do a comeback and then take that heat and then try to build from there, but she's not gonna wait for this heat to go away. She's gonna get this heat at some level wherever she goes. It's not gonna go away. She just needs to sign somewhere, get this heat out of the way, and then maybe it'll pass over. But I think the bigger concern for Tony Khan shouldn't be public backlash. It needs to be the women in the locker room that has to work with her. You don't want to upset your locker room just to try to bring in someone like that.
Well, maybe there's no interest in her at all. That's why she's sitting out.
But if there is, I'm just saying, if there is, you need to have a sit down meeting with your crew, with your female locker room, and see if overall they would have a problem working with her, and save yourself that headache before it happens. Because eventually, what we say, it matters, but it doesn't matter in the totality of all of this. It's gonna matter, but your employees and who's there busting their ass for you right now, and you go out and get someone like this who's gonna be toxic in that locker room. You don't want an unhappy locker room. No,
I agree that those steps definitely need to be made before any contract discussions are being talked about.
Yes, and then maybe that's a slippery slope for them, because maybe they want to talk to the locker room, but they don't want anything to leak that they're trying to bring in Tessa Blanchard. But I'll give AEW this: they've been good for holding in secrets they want to keep in house.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately, if they're gonna bring her in, talk to your women. Just talk to all your women and get a collective overview of what they all think. And if they're cool with it, go ahead and do it. But if they hate it and the crowd and the internet is loving it, I wouldn't do it. I don't want to piss off 15, 20 different women just to make one happy.
Yeah. And you don't want to piss off a fan base that is going to boycott your shows because of whatever she did in the past. You don't want to do that either.
Yeah. So we'll see. She has to land somewhere. She's too talented just to not wrestle again.
Yeah.
But she can't outweight this heat. She's gonna get it, man. If she comes back this year or 2-3 years from now, you think they're just gonna forget it and never bring it up? Just come on back and get it started. You're going to get it.
Thea Trinidad, apparently she got a new contract, not with AEW. Now, if you guys remember, Thea, a.k.a. Zelina Vega, was released from WWE last November for reasons related to WWE's new third-party edict. Sports Illustrated reported that it was due to her breaching her contract. She had opened up an OnlyFans against Vince McMahon's third-party edict. And then she went on and stayed on Twitch, and that caused a big issue. So Andrade was just recently given his release 2 weeks ago. He did not have a 90-day non-compete clause attached to that. He can show up wherever he wants, literally anytime he wants. But Thea was rumored to be talking to Tony Khan. And Tony Khan realized that she was a free agent and said publicly that he would like to speak to her. So Meltzer reported in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Andrade and Thea Trinidad reuniting as a pair in wrestling won't be happening, at least right now. Meltzer says, and I quote, "Trinidad has signed a deal. We don't know who got her or even if it's a wrestling promotion, but the deal she signed would not allow her to work for another wrestling company, and it was not with AEW." Meltzer also added that the deal is somewhat of a short-term thing, and the door wasn't shut on her eventually working with AEW, but it won't be anytime soon. So that is the latest on Thea Trinidad. Jesse, I know a lot of people are mentioning Impact or Ring of Honor or MLW. I don't know if it's a wrestling company like Meltzer said. I would maybe guess it's with something video game related.
I thought about it too. I can't see it being something video game related, and then they have a clause that you can't work somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking wrestling company. And now, how could it be Impact if right now their whole gimmick is working somewhere else?
Yeah.
So it's not Impact. She's not flying over to Japan, which even if she was, the door's not closed to AEW there. So I'm thinking it has to be ROH if it's a wrestling company.
Yeah, I would say ROH too. I just feel like they're in a position where they don't really give a shit about working with anybody. So they're doing their own thing. But then again, the question remains, is she going to go there and be in the same role that she was in with Andrade and Angel Garza on WWE television, or is she going there to have a couple of matches, wipe off that ring rust, and then join AEW and then potentially get in that women's division?
I think Meltzer's in on this work, and she signed with AEW. There's nowhere else for her to go and get maximum value for what she can do. There's nowhere else to go. She's not a wrestler. She's a character.
Yeah.
And she needs to be on TV. She needs to be on TV. And going to ROH or any other company other than AEW, she's not going to get full potential for her talent.
I do agree she needs to be on TV because she has other ventures outside of wrestling that she needs to be in the public spotlight for. Otherwise, nobody is going to know who she is. So why would you go sign with Ring of Honor when legitimately nobody gives a fuck about what Ring of Honor is doing? Impact, they're working with AEW, so it's one and the same. If you sign with Impact, then you might as well just sign with AEW, make more money, and be on TV. So
and I can't see somebody offering her just so much money to the point where she's willing to take that deal and close the door with the company that everyone is expecting her to sign with altogether. And then it'll be a company that she won't be on TV. She won't get the exposure that she needs. I don't see it. Look, who the fuck are we? I could be way, way off and wrong here, but she has to be with AEW. It makes no other sense unless she goes somewhere else not involved in wrestling right now.
Well, if she goes with AEW, let me switch gears and talk about Andrade. Does he join AEW as well? And does Tony Khan think, well, all right, Vince fucked that up. He didn't know what to do with them. I'm going to take them and I'm going to do it right on my show.
If there's not a question if Khan wants to take him or not. I think just a question of if Andrade wants to come here, because maybe he wants to go back to Mexico. Maybe he wants to go over to New Japan because he fits in these places. The guy can work in the ring. Mm-hmm. And he's not a big household name and or on-screen personality. He can just work his ass off. So that's the kind of style that's built for an indie promotion, but it doesn't mean that he won't do well on television. It just means that he can do either one and probably be happy. The guy's tired of sitting and catering. He wants to work. Maybe he sees AEW as, somewhere he can work right now, but at the long run, look how much talent they have. Maybe he's scared he'll wind up on the back burner over there. He can go to another promotion and be the top star.
Yeah, I would not be surprised that is the line of thinking amongst a lot of people trying to join AEW because they just got so much talent and not enough time to showcase all this talent. Yeah,
not enough TV. It's coming, and that's why they're advertising. We have more TV coming. We have this extra because they want to tell people, hey, we'll have other outlets, and they're coming. If I'm gonna start like Andrade, like if I'm tired of not being used, I probably wouldn't necessarily run to AEW thinking all my fears are all corrected and saved, because you have a lot of talented people there in one weekly show.
Yeah,
and you could be putting yourself in the exact same situation that you're coming away from. So I don't know. We'll see. The good part is I haven't heard a single story about Tony Khan bullshitting the wrestlers or, lying to them. So it looks like he can just sit down with the guy, lay it out exactly what he'll get and make an informed decision. And if Tony Khan says you'll be used, I would take that as, assurance that you'll be used.
Man, listen, I may be in the minority. I know a lot of people probably want him to go to New Japan and join his old buddies over there, but I think he fit perfect with Pentagon, Phoenix, and Laredo Kid, to be quite honest with you. And just put Zelina Vega or Thea Trinidad to manage all of them. You got your own little fucking Mexican mafia there.
Yeah, I would put him back in the mask. I know I've heard him say he doesn't want to go back to the mask. I mean, the guy has a face. He has a face to be put on TV. So I would get it if he wants to keep it out there. But if he went back behind the mask and joined the Lucha Brothers, that would be awesome too.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on that. I do think I am in agreement with you. I think Meltzer knows more than he's letting on, and I do think that she's going to end up in AEW, no question.
They could. And Meltzer coming out and saying that it's not AEW will, add to the pop when she shows up. So yeah, we'll see.
Moving on here, guys. We got Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. They talked about how they aren't being appreciated and don't like sharing the spotlight with wrestlers who aren't at their level. They said they are taking everything they want going forward starting Monday on Elevation. Ethan Page has had 2 matches, one on pay-per-view where he was in a ladder match and one on Dynamite that was botched with NBA sound noises in the background, and he's already talking about not being appreciated, Jesse. I don't really get that vibe there because you've been here less than a month and a half and you're already giving off, I'm underappreciated already. And now they're pairing him with Scorpio Sky, and Scorpio Sky just left SCU, and they're teaming Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page on Elevation on Monday. So what's going on here? Why should we care?
2 guys that can't get off the ground, put them together. I don't like this. I don't like where they're going with this Scorpio Sky thing. It just seems like they can't get any kind of momentum behind him.
It really does. It really does seem like they got absolutely no fucking idea what to do with him.
Yeah. I mean, it really does. I mean, at this point, if it was me, I would quickly inject him into the Frankie Kazarian SCU feud and have him be the cause of them losing their match.
Listen, Ethan Page, he's a fantastic pro wrestler. I don't know why I should care about who Ethan Page. What is he? Who is Ethan Page? Why should I care about Ethan Page? They brought him in because he's a great professional wrestler, but I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. This is just my opinion. I don't think Ethan Page has enough to make himself into a single star in AEW. What Ethan Page needs is Josh Alexander coming over from Impact to join AEW, and we need the North back together on AEW Dynamite. That's going to bring Ethan Page to the level that we see him being at. And when he was in a tag team with Josh Alexander, they were their version of the fucking FTR guys. They were FTR for Impact Wrestling. They are great. I don't see Ethan Page doing anything singles-wise in AEW. I'm sorry. That's just me.
I mean, I don't know who he is at all. You can bring in his partner. I don't know who he... Bring in his partner, and the both of them will be sitting in the exact same boat that Page is sitting in with me. I just have no idea who he is. None. So it's almost like they brought him in and just assumed that everybody knew who he was, when, I mean, I have no idea who he is. I have never even seen the North wrestle at all. So he bringing his partner, it still means nothing to me. They got to come over and establish that here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and like you said, it seems like they don't know what they're doing with them themselves. So, I don't know. Him and Scorpio Sky, they've got talent. They just have to figure it out. These guys are learning what it's like to run a promotion year round, every week, round the clock. And it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, but they'll get the hang of it.
Jon Moxley, he had a little promo backstage in the locker room, talked about the Good Brothers attacking Eddie Kingston's ankle. He said it pisses him off to get attacked by goons. He says he's not sure if the Young Bucks want to be in the fight, and asked which side they are on. He said he probably does owe them, and that pisses me off. He yanked off his shirt, and then he said tonight he's going to match with this guy, Cezar Bononi, and he looks like a goddamn Baywatch model, and he can make a lot of money for AEW. That is, unless I kill him first. Then we got Jon Moxley versus Cezar Bononi here, Jesse. We got Ryan Nemeth and JD Drake on the outside. Moxley wins in about 8 minutes. Mox had Nemeth interfere in the match, gave Nemeth the paradigm shift. Benoni tried to use that interference to get at Moxley and try to take advantage. Moxley came right back and took Benoni down with a sleeper for the win. This was a nice little spotlight match for Cezar Bononi. I think all of the community is for him to see his wife get better and the aid that she needs. Seems like things have taken a turn for the better for Cezar Bononi. And, good on Tony Khan for taking a guy that right now is in a very difficult, stressful situation and giving him a little rub and a little spotlight on Dynamite against their biggest name.
Love it. I love it. I text you that I love this. I mean, Benoni is going through a lot, man. Mm-hmm. And, he can't be where he wants to be and do what he wants to do or necessarily get the help that he wants or that he needs for his wife. But it's all coming together. He is getting the help for his wife. And if he's going to be working, I mean, I'm pretty sure that if he needed to go and be with his family, he could. But apparently he needs to be working right now. And so Tony Khan gave this guy easily the best match of his career.
Yeah.
He's on He's on primetime television with their top babyface in a match. That's
could have easily been a squash. An easy 2-minute fucking paradigm shift. Goodbye. Job done for Moxley. Back to the locker room. And we could have called it a night, but he lasted almost 10 minutes with their biggest name. And Moxley is in the middle of this Omega Young Bucks situation with Eddie Kingston. And that's, like I said, a great spot for him to be in. He should look back at this and say, hey, man, I had a damn good fucking week.
Yeah. I mean, he did. The wrestling community came together, helped spread his word, helped find the help that he needed. He's on television against Jon fucking Moxley. He looked great. He has a nice look to him. He didn't get squashed. He didn't get buried. He's having an awesome week. I hope he continues to do well. I want to see him develop and get better down the road.
I gotta say, man, the mustache wasn't my type of thing on Benoni. I remember him without the mustache. The more I see him with the mustache, I'm like, you know what? This fucking thing's growing on me.
Yeah, he looks like a dick.
He's a handsome guy.
I like him. I like his build. He has that little bit of that accent and everything else. I think he'll make a good heater. I can't wait to see what they do. I mean, they could put him in one of the 47 factions they got going on in this company right now.
Well, it looks like he's in a faction with JD Drake and Ryan Nemeth, another fucking faction on this show.
There you go. That's right. See, he'll do well. I'm glad to see his work. I mean, everybody's situation is slowed because of COVID, but it just seems like with his, it's hit rock bottom. I can only imagine the pain he felt. So I'm glad to see this all coming together for Benoni.
Yeah. Speaking of factions, we got Team Taz backstage. Taz was ranting when Ricky Starks jumped in and said he thinks the old Team Taz is back. Brian Cage was sitting slumped in a chair with the FTW title. He asked Cage what he thinks. Cage said maybe if he had tagged him in sooner last week, they would have won sooner. So Taz was trying to be the voice of reason here. And Taz said, no one can stop the path of rage. All is good. So it looks like, Jesse, Taz is living in denial. He knows that there's problems in Team Taz, but he's kind of ignoring it right now. And he sees what's going on between Starks and Brian Cage. I don't know where this is leading to, but maybe Cage just dumps the FTW title, goes on a warpath babyface run, and we see the Machine Brian Cage back going solo.
No, we're getting ready to see Brian Cage versus Starks for the FTW title, man.
Oh, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, they've already mentioned the FTW title on Dark and the fact that Cage holds it, and they asked about Starks challenging for it. That's where they're going.
Oh my God, that doesn't interest me at all. The match should be fine, but I mean, the fucking title is just absolutely worthless to me.
Yeah, they're gonna put that title on the line finally. I mean, they have to shit or get off the pot with that title. You just can't walk around and carry it and do nothing with it. Great. So you got to get rid of it or put it up. So they're gonna put it up. It's gonna be him and Starks.
MJF, Pinnacle, they were backstage. They are now occupying the Inner Circle locker room / dressing room at Daly's place. So just to give you guys a little backstory here, MJF, after taking out the Inner Circle and they were off the show for a couple of weeks, they go into the old Inner Circle locker room, dressing room, and take it over, make it theirs. Okay, so that's where they are during this backstage vignette. So he introduced a gift to everybody in the Pinnacle, a new personal stylist. Man opened up a folder, had all these cloths and different color combinations for suits and looking all dapper and fancy. And MJF said the room that they're in looks a little old. Called it a dump. He said he secured them an interior decorator as well to change up the dressing room. He opened up the bathroom door because he said, we're finally going to get rid of the stench in this goddamn bathroom. And he opened the bathroom door, and there was Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz of the Inner Circle. So they were all in the bathroom. MJF closed the door. He said, we gotta go. We gotta go right now. Don't ask me any questions. He opened up the front door to the dressing room, and there was Jake Hager, who punched MJF in the face. This leads to an Inner Circle beatdown of the Pinnacle. They focused on Guevara beating up Spears, and then Hager fighting Wardlow, slamming him through a massage table at one point during this thing. Next, they went to Brawl Out Back, and Ortiz shoved Cash into an ice bath out back. Absolutely devastating. I would never want to submerge my head in a fucking ice bath. That had to suck for Mr. Cash Wheeler. Santana swung a pipe at Dax, who came up bleeding from the forehead. Back inside, they showed Jericho beating up MJF. Jericho gave MJF a nice face plant in the toilet, and he yelled that he's a piece of shit. Then he threw MJF through a mini Pepsi refrigerator. The glass on the front was shattered because Jericho threw MJF through it. Then he takes a sip of a little bit of the bubbly, and then he dumps the rest all over MJF. He kicked MJF out of the dressing room and said, "This is our dressing room, bitch." And then they put the Inner Circle logo back on the dressing room, and they dragged MJF out. And that was the end of this epic fucking brawl. This was awesome, Jesse. I know they advertised the Pinnacle having a gift bestowed to them by MJF, but the surprise of the Inner Circle being there, which led to this great brawl. So fun this was, and I am even more so thinking we're getting blood and guts. We're getting Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle, blood and guts. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know where it's going to happen, but it's happening, and they're back.
Man, let me tell you, man. This show could have had Bailey's This Is Your Life. This could have had that and Lashley's sisters on the show. And this segment and Statlander returning would have made it a 4-star show for me. That's it. That's enough. This was fucking great. This was fucking awesome, man. It was. I don't know why I didn't close the show. This should have closed the show.
Yeah.
This was just fucking great. I was getting pissed. Like, well, they're gonna have us watch them beat each other up for a few seconds, and then it wasn't much of a tease. They beat the crap out of each other for a good what was it? Fucking 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it was all over the place. It was not cinematic, but they did some nice cut edits with Sean Spears getting a door slammed in his face while he was laying on the ground. Sammy Guevara gave him a nasty GTS. Everything with Jericho and MJF was great. Santana and Ortiz looked to be those fucking just cold-blooded killers again, which is great, and they need that so badly. I can't wait to see their future just blossom in AEW with their new attitude change, hopefully, since the Pinnacle got started. But yeah, this was awesome, man. I don't really know what else to say. If you guys watch the show, you know what Jesse and I are talking about. This was fucking great.
And did you see how they broke down and showed us all the individual feuds we're gonna get from this?
Yep.
This was we get Sean Spears and Sammy. Obviously we get Jericho and MJF. We have Wardlow and Hager. It all breaks down. It is so awesome. I cannot wait until they get these guys in the blood and guts.
Yeah, and Jericho actually, I know, Jesse, you've been mentioning it to me on the show the past couple of times we talked about Jericho. He just actually unveiled a new Fozzy tour schedule for next year, and no dates are going to happen on Wednesday. It's going to happen, I believe, I think it's going to happen Thursday through Monday, I believe, and then he's going to go back to work on Wednesday. But that may be, I do think in the end, like you said, I do think Jericho's going to take some time away, kind of reassess things. I don't think that AEW needs Jericho the way that they needed him when they started Dynamite. So he can definitely take a step back and do what he wants to do outside of AEW, because I think they're in a good place without him on television every week. And that's why they got the Pinnacle now, and MJF's going to take that spot on the show. But, Jericho with the Inner Circle, I do think is going to end up being one of those things where they're not going to break up, but we'll see them on the show sporadically. And then when they come back together, it's going to be like, a reunion of sorts of the Inner Circle. I don't think they're going to split away, but Jericho is definitely going to take some time off.
Yeah, and I'm sure he will. I mean, and why would you put a schedule out booking yourself on Wednesday nights, completely telegraphing everything that's going to happen on the show? So he might not be anywhere near the show on those Wednesdays, but why book yourself? But he could show up, maybe he will. Yeah. But probably won't. I mean, if you're on tour, you have to travel. It's not like you're in one city, then you're off, for a week. No, you're working every night, So I don't know. We'll see. Only Jericho knows what he's going to be end up doing with his schedule as far as touring goes. But like you said, they don't need him on TV every week. As a matter of fact, it'll probably be easier to book the show without him right now, just because you have so to get on TV. And if Jericho was there, he has to get on TV because he is a top guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this is awesome. I can't wait to see what happens coming out of this. Inner Circle, Pinnacle. It's going to be really, really awesome. And again, Blood and Guts is my honest opinion there. That's where they're all leading towards. Where it happens, when it happens, I don't know, but I'm sure it's going to be a big deal. Alex Marvez interviewed the Young Bucks about what happened with them and Kenny Omega last week after their match. Matt Jackson said that they don't want to air their dirty laundry on TV every week. Don Callis then walked into frame and told Nick Jackson to go be a rock star somewhere else. Let the adults do the talking. Nick left. Callis sent Marvez away as well. Callis then told Matt to hear him out because he has something to tell him man to man. Callis says he loves Kenny Omega, and Matt broke his heart. He said Kenny made a choice based on family and friendship when he could have chosen more money and fame. And I'm surprised Don Callis didn't mention anything about Stamford or Connecticut here, but you see it as you guys want. But Callis said he's been trying to reach Matt, but he seems dead inside. Callis said he is probably going to go count his money, and Matt was standing there just looking kind of perplexed about what Don Callis was talking about. Don Callis then slaps Matt out of nowhere. Matt grabs Callis by his shirt and his jacket, and he let him go. He didn't really do anything after grabbing him. Callis backed away, kind of looks, a little snarky in his attitude. He asked if there's anything inside of Matt at all. And then he said, Matt, you are truly pathetic, and you make me sick. So that was the end of that. Jesse, what do you, I don't really know what the exchange here was all about, but where do you see this going? Is he trying to make Matt feel bad about what he is doing to Kenny Omega?
Well, as it stands now, the angle on BTE is that the Bucks are feeling like they are resting on their laurels because Matt is sitting around planning dinner with his family of having steak and lobster, sitting around in their nice plush home, and right now they are getting the feeling like that they're not hungry anymore. So that's kind of the angle they've been going. They've been having this self-reflection, like since success has made them lazy in the ring. And so that's the angle they've been going with on BTE, and it's kind of, transcending over and carrying on here. So they're not hungry anymore. They're not thirsty. They're not pushing themselves because they've made it. So we'll see if they're going to go and get gritty, or maybe they'll get, surprised by a young up-and-coming team. I'm not sure, but right now the Bucks are unsure of themselves.
Interesting.
Yep.
So
not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
With all of this, and obviously Moxley now joining, this and having backup in the Bucks clearly show their allegiance with Moxley trying to battle the Good Brothers, Don Callis and Kenny Omega. Is there anything funny you think the Bucks are going to take what Callis is saying seriously and kind of go back to the old Young Bucks, or are they going to remain the way that they are now and realize that, Kenny Omega isn't really the same guy? Don Callis is just trying to be a manipulative dick. And what they're doing is what they worked all their fucking lives for. They deserve everything that they got right now. And Kenny Omega is the one that changed, even though Don Callis is kind of trying to turn the tables on the Young Bucks here.
It looks like they're setting us up for that little sweet spot where we might think we know what's going to happen, and then it could go a different way. Kind of the way they say the same way they just did us with the Inner Circle unveiling with the Pinnacle and everything else. It looks like right now that the Bucks could just go ahead and just turn all the way heel and join Kenny and Don and the Good Brothers. Or it looks like, because right now they're just kind of torn in between. They don't know what to do. Yep. They might just say, forget Kenny altogether, go full babyface and just go full battle with the other side. We don't know for sure yet, because it looks like they don't know for sure yet. So I don't know. We'll see. It looks like they're kind of heel heavy, so I don't see them turning heel. But who knows? I don't know.
I mean, do the Bucks need to join Omega to really fulfill this forbidden door storyline that obviously we haven't seen even develop yet. Are the Bucks needed for that, or are the Bucks going to do their own thing? Can Kenny thrive in this role with just Callis and the Good Brothers by his side? Does he need the Bucks?
Yeah, they need the Bucks for this gimmick, because it involves the Good Brothers who are traveling from brand to brand, and we know the Bucks are good for showing up, as a surprise in other promotions and things like that. So this feud is going to carry on with the Forbidden Door. It definitely needs to involve the Bucks, and it's probably why they're still holding on to those tag team titles right now too.
Yeah. So what happens to Moxley then? Is Moxley going to get the short end of the stick here?
Moxley is going to be tied up with his buddy Kingston. They'll probably wind up in the tag division after they wrap up this feud right here. But I don't see them going back to Moxley and Kenny right now. Not right away. But they'll stick around. But they're going to go to the tag division, man. Probably it might be the safest thing for them to do to keep them both not just relevant, but in high profile stories, because whatever feud that those two are in is a high profile feud.
Yeah.
So we will see, especially with the Bucks holding on to those titles. They could easily transition into that as well if the Bucks do turn heel and go join Kenny and Don. Well, now you get Moxley and Kingston don't like that. Now they want to take those tag titles, and they're still feuding with those guys.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's interesting.
A lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, a lot of them they're right in the middle. They can go either way. Same way they just swerved us a couple of weeks ago. So I like it.
Moving on, guys, we got the Lucha Brothers and the Laredo Kid versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. This was all over the fucking place, man. I'm not even going to do a breakdown of this match. I got some notes here, but, I mean, this was completely out of control. There's no normal way anybody could take notes on a match like this. I mean, you just enjoy the fucking chaos as it's happening. But obviously, we got Omega, Gallows, and Anderson winning this match. We got Anderson, Gallows, and Omega in control right before commercial break. The Lucha Brothers eventually made a big comeback, and Penta saved Phoenix as Anderson had him pinned. Anderson landed a big boot on Phoenix, scored a near fall. Laredo Kid counted a one-winged angel, and then landed a flip dive on Omega at ringside. Lucha Brothers and the Good Brothers, lots of brothers here, battled in the ring. Penta dove onto Anderson at ringside. Back in the ring, Laredo Kid blocked an Omega V-trigger. Phoenix then leapt off the top rope and hit Omega with a flying kick. Kid then landed a Michinoku driver, which looked devastating for a near fall. Kid then went for a top rope Phoenix splash. Omega moved, landed a V-trigger, and then eventually landed the one-winged angel, which looked fucking devastating. 1, 2, 3, Omega, Anderson, and Gallows win in 14 minutes. Lots of dives, lots of chaos. You got to go and watch it. Clearly, I didn't do it justice. But after the match, Omega walked onto the stage, and out came the Young Bucks and Moxley. They were out there. They pretty much stood their ground on the stage, squared off. And as soon as Moxley and the Bucks went into the ring, Omega and the Good Brothers ran the opposite way and escaped, and they bailed out. Ross called them scalded dogs. Running like scalded dogs are the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. So that was cool there, and Jesse and I just went over that. But excellent match. And the Lucha Brothers, like I said, Jesse on Twitter, sign the Laredo Kid, create the Trios titles, and give the Trios titles to Pentagon, Phoenix, and Laredo Kid, and let them just fucking go. I mean,
give it to them.
I mean, just don't even have a tournament. Don't even have them. Just give it to them. Just give them the
fucking titles. They are fucking great.
I mean, the Laredo Kid is showing you every possible reason why Pac doesn't belong with these guys. Pac needs to be on his own.
Yeah, I want to see these guys versus Jurassic Express. They have so many good trios to start these. I mean, get these titles on TV now. I need them. I need them. Did you see Kenny's head clear that Michinoku driver dude? I mean, there was no room for error. His head tucked inches before he cleared that mat, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how any of these guys do anything, man. I don't know how Phoenix does half the shit he does. I mean, they make it look like fucking like nothing. I'm over here talking to myself. I'm like, Jesus, these guys just make it look like so easy.
No. I don't know how they do that belly to back suplex where they all land on their fucking necks.
I don't know. It's like they made a fucking rubber.
They all land on their necks. Especially that snap suplex, that snap suplex. They never go all the way over. They just snap right on their necks. They turn it just far enough to not. I don't know how they do that.
And the fucking dives. Phoenix. I mean, it looks like he gets shot out of a cannon every fucking week. Laredo Kid had a dive on Omega. He almost cleared the fucking barricade himself. I'm like, I see where he's taking lessons from.
Yeah, really. It's some scary shit. Every time they do that shit, at least with the One Wing Angel, Kenny keeps an arm free to go ahead and help tuck the head when he comes down. But usually those belly to backs, man, and this Michinoku driver, there was no arm tuck. It was just Kenny got his head down just in time to clear, man. It's amazing. I don't know how they do that shit.
Well, excellent match. You guys got to go and watch it, see what happens there for yourself. Trios titles hopefully very soon. I think with all the factions in AEW now, I think it's more needed now than ever before. But we got Britt Baker and Rebel. They were backstage, and they talked about AEW and the women's division. Baker says you can see stars like them on Monday nights on YouTube, elevating stars on AEW Elevation. She said it's an excellent platform for Thunder Rosa to get her win tally increased. Haha. She said it's too bad her biggest win ever wasn't even sanctioned. There you go. She mentioned it. She said she will continue to put AEW on the map. Now, I got news on Britt Baker. I got two little pieces of information here. Apparently, Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa went over so big that even Drew McIntyre, former WWE champion, wrestling Bobby Lashley in the supposed main event of WrestleMania for the WWE title, and Bayley called Britt Baker after her unsanctioned lights out match with Thunder Rosa. And you guys know how great the match was. She added this while speaking to Renee Paquette on Oral Sessions, her podcast. She says this, and I quote, Drew McIntyre messaged me, and I was really excited about that. Oh my gosh, there were so many people. Trent Seven, who I think was one of the funniest guys on the planet, messaged me. Had a nice exchange yesterday with the other role model, Bayley. She's one of my favorites. I'm literally a fangirl for her. End quote. So clearly you see how this match did that. AEW and WWE talent all collectively got together to congratulate both Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa and how important this match was. She also talked about the situation with Mick Foley, where she mentioned Mick Foley in this promo that she cut last week. Mick Foley actually rebutted Britt Baker and said that Baker's comments towards him stung a little bit. So Baker addressed the numerous praises she received from various pro wrestlers, like I mentioned, against Thunder Rosa. She especially talked about the thumbs up Twitter video that Foley posted last week, where he tagged both Rosa and Baker. So Baker cut a scathing promo on not just Foley, but everybody. But she did mention Foley being a hardcore legend and the fact that she did it in one night, where Foley had to do it, for 25 years. As Baker stated that she became a hardcore legend in one night, whereas Foley took over 2 decades. And I don't need the praise and admiration, says Foley, from all you... actually, I'm sorry, this is Baker. I don't need the praise and admiration from all you legends and experts telling me that I'm worthy now, that I'm a star now. Mick Foley, thanks for the thumbs up, except it took you 20 years to become a hardcore legend, and I did it in one night. And so good. Yeah, and then that night when I had 87 thumbtacks in my back and blood was flowing down my eyes, I've never been able to see more clearly, because Tony Khan, you're out here looking for every legend that has ever been, when you had the biggest one right here standing right underneath your nose, because not only did I make history that night, I put AEW on the map. And those 3 letters, AEW, comes second to the most epic 3 in all of professional wrestling, and that is DMD. That was her promo. And Mick Foley saw Baker's promo and decided to reply, and he says this, and I quote, "Not going to lie, this comment from Britt Baker stung a little bit," and then he ends it with a sleepy face emoji. So I don't know if Mick is genuinely upset. Probably not. He's just probably playing to the fact over Britt Baker is, killing it right now. But Jesse, does Mick Foley eventually make his way to AEW television? This is 2 weeks now that Mick Foley was mentioned via a Britt Baker promo.
I don't even know anymore. I don't even fucking know anymore. Bischoff was here, now he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't know anymore. I don't fucking know. I mean, he might. I mean, I don't. Maybe Vince will re-induct him or something. I don't even know anymore, man. There's that forbidden door. The forbidden door is there. Foley can do whatever he wants. He's not held down by WWE in any way, you know. But as far as I know, I mean, unless something changed and I didn't hear about it, his son still works there. So he might want to, you know, not piss them off, I guess. Dewey still works for the creative team, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, WWE, listen, please don't botch Rhea Ripley's debut. Sorry, Mick. That already happened, bro, in 1 week. Go cry a fucking river of tears, clown.
Done.
Seriously.
Too late.
It's too late. Rhea's already ruined on the main roster. Nothing that she's done makes sense, and she almost killed Asuka on Monday.
Oh God.
She ain't gonna sleep with you, bro. She ain't gonna sleep with you.
Yeah, I don't. He could show up and it would make sense. You know, I would love to see him come over and show up and be in on the waiting room with Britt Baker, and he'll fucking bump for it too. That's what I like about Foley. He shows up on TV. He's there to help put somebody else over.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind it.
Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero and the Bunny with Matt Hardy and his Hardy family office versus Tay Conti and Shida, and they were with the Dark Order. Jesse, I said this to you. This is, you know, just looking at this, this looks like a fucking clusterfuck, man. Everybody out there on the stage, and everybody's getting their spotlight. They got to be on the show. Tony Khan can't leave anybody out of the show. It would have been fine just with the women, right? Matt Hardy, he could be out there because he's the main focus here for his group, but I mean, having everybody out there, it just goes to what I said in the beginning. There's just so many people that are on the show just for the sake of being on the show, and it just comes off as a clusterfuck. It just comes off sloppy, you know?
Yeah, this wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't fun visually, and the match really wasn't all that well, but the one thing that I did pay attention to, and I'm sure Jesse paid attention to it as well, was Tay Conti. She looked great tonight. And that's
she did.
2 weeks to the fucking ferocity and the intensity, man. You know, what I like, it's not that she's bad. You know, she still obviously has a lot to learn, but man, you know what I like? A woman professional wrestler that is not afraid to be intense and get down and dirty and fucking wrestle. She did that tonight, man. The intensity was there. I love it.
Yeah. Tay Conti has always been fantastic to look at. I can't deny that.
I wonder why.
Tay Conti.
I mean, dude. So you know. I mean, we have -1 to go off of. I mean, even he thought the same thing too.
-1. Why do you think he was ringside staring at Tay Conti matches for weeks on end? The guy's not crazy, man.
I don't blame him.
She is talented. She brings she brings a certain aura about herself to the ring, and maybe it is her jiu-jitsu background, maybe it's her Brazilian background. I mean, I don't know, but there's something about her gimmick I would like to see more of. She's not a big talker, or not a good talker, but I want to see her improve on that, because I want to see that accent come out and that gimmick and everything else. But she can go in the ring with just about any of them. You know, any of them. So she's better than Anna Jay. Anna Jay was learning from her.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she's good. She's really good, man.
Well, the ending of this match saw Bunny hit Conti with a kendo stick after a distraction by Vicky Guerrero, and that's the way the match ended, as the Bunny pinned Conti. I know Conti was probably being talked about as a possible in-between #1 contender for Hikaru Shida, which I'll talk about in a second. But with her losing and taking the pinfall in this match, Jesse, a lot of people on social media were asking, I didn't like that ending. I don't think she should have taken the pinfall. But, I mean, I don't really think it matters, to be quite honest with you. I mean, do you see it differently? Should she have lost this match, even though she is probably in line for a title shot against Shida?
No. I was thinking the very same thing. It made zero sense for her to pin Nyla Rose and then lose here.
Yeah.
So I mean, if she never would have beat Nyla Rose and then she just got pinned here, I would be saying nothing.
But don't you think the kendo stick and the interference saved that, or are you just completely in disagreement here and think she should have never been pinned regardless? She should have never been put in that position.
No, don't pin her. You gave her a win over Nyla Rose.
Clean.
She's already, that alone is a momentum bump. Now she's got momentum.
Yeah.
And now she took an L. Now that momentum is gone. Nyla laid down for her. They could have used that somehow. Nyla's got some credibility. You don't just pin Nyla Rose and have nothing to show for it. So
yeah,
I don't agree. I think they shouldn't have done that. Pick one or the other. I'm not against Tay Conti getting pinned, but you started a great momentum, start for her by pinning Nyla. Go with it. Have her win a couple of more, and if she's gonna take an L, take that L to somebody who's then gonna get that push. But okay, I beat Nyla. Then I get pinned the very next week. Why? I don't get that. So.
All right, listen, man. There is plans for Tay Conti versus Hikaru Shida. This was discussed on The Observer with Meltzer and Alvarez. Meltzer says this, and I quote: "They book long term. They don't book every week, but they book long term. And obviously, number one, they're building for this tag team match, which Conti and Hikaru Shida against Bunny and Nyla, and eventually they're going to get to Shida and Tay Conti. So since they're going to Shida and Tay Conti, unlike with WWE, where the idea is to get somebody over, you keep beating them, because that's how you get a babyface over, and obviously this was sarcasm. In AEW, when you're building for a title match, I'm sure there are going to be some exceptions because they're always there. It's pro wrestling. But as in a general rule in AEW, if you're on a way to a championship match, you're usually going to have to get a winning streak going into it. So they clearly obviously went away from this, and Meltzer was on the right path here, but like you said, they went away from that because she lost tonight. So there's no winning streak.
There's no winning streak. That wins and losses matter, momentum. Like, I was like you and a lot of other people. When she pinned Nyla Rose, I was like, whoa, yeah. Okay. All right, Tay Conti's on the way. Then, here we go. Then when she gets pinned by the Bunny.
Yep.
It's, so by that logic, the Bunny should be able to beat Nyla Rose too. No, man, no. You beat Nyla Rose, you can beat the Bunny. Okay, that's just common sense. Have her beat the Bunny last week, then lose to Nyla Rose the next week. Okay, that makes more sense, But
yeah, I just think that they had this whole Matt Hardy situation in the back of their mind. Obviously, they showed you what was more important. Matt Hardy enlisting the Bunny, Butcher, and Blade, and them getting momentum for the Hardy family office. And Tay Conti, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, she's on the up and she's coming along and she's getting this match against Shida. Obviously there's going to be people calling for her to beat Shida for the women's championship, but Tony Khan and the creative showed you where their priorities lie, and their priorities lie in Matt Hardy and the Hardy family office. And Tay Conti, she's just there for a small little run that's not really going to matter in the end. So they showed you where their priorities are.
Excuse me. I think for a company with so many gaps in the women's division, that they need to take their W's where they can get them. And you see somebody building some momentum, don't stray away from it, because who knows where it could go.
Yep.
And Tay Conti could, as it stands, if I'm looking at a Cargill, or a Statlander, or a Britt Baker, or a Thunder Rosa, I'm not thinking about a Tay Conti in the core of those women that can help bring the division up. But if you start telling me that she's going to beat Nyla Rose, she's going to beat the Bunny, and then she's going to beat Shida, well, now I'm thinking, okay, now we need to put Tay Conti in that group too, because she's doing great, she's moving great in the ring, and she's beating big talent. Well, now she's up and down, winning and losing. Like, okay, put her back with the rest of them. Now we got these winners over here.
I see the chat, and I know the match next week is Tay Conti versus the Bunny. I get it, but what Jesse and I are talking about is, and listen, I don't disagree with him, because I complain about this shit every Monday and every Friday. So I'm 100% backing what Jesse is saying here. The kendo stick, I'm trying to look at it from a different way. The kendo stick and the interference is going to be overlooked by people. But what Jesse and I are talking about is she shouldn't have lost, because now she's going to go into a match with the Bunny next week and get a victory back. And she should have never lost. She should have, if that was the case, she should have pinned Nyla Rose again. And then go into the match next week with the Bunny and beat the Bunny.
Yeah.
That's what she should have did.
Momentum. We want to be talking about, man, you can't look past Tay Conti. She's beat this person, this person, this person. Now she's up there. Now she's winning and losing. She's lost to the fucking Bunny.
Well, like I said, the storyline here is to push Matt Hardy and what he's doing. So Tay Conti is getting the short end of the stick. They don't care.
She didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
She didn't need to be there in that situation. So
next week's Dynamite, Omega and the Good Brothers versus Moxley and the Young Bucks. That should be awesome. Another 6-man fucking tag, but that's the common theme on these shows every week. Tay Conti versus the Bunny, TNT Championship. Darby Allin, and this is a match I'm going to have Jesse pay attention to next week, versus JD Drake. This is going to be a good one. JD Drake is a really, really great professional wrestler. Inner Circle is back. That's going to be great. And then Jurassic Express, Jesse, versus Bear Country. We got Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Bear Country.
That I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Now if JD Drake and Darby. So if you tell me JD Drake is a great wrestler, then I believe you.
Yeah.
So if he comes out and has a great match with Darby Allin, which he should, because I know Darby Allin's great, then the match will be great. I still don't care anything about who this guy is.
I don't think many people, I don't think anybody does really, but he's just a good he's a very old school looking professional wrestler.
Yeah, I don't need a great match out of him. I need to know what his storyline is, what his gimmick's going to be, what he's going to be doing, and have them play that out on TV. Yeah. You come out and give me a great match with Darby, I'm expecting it, because from what I'm hearing from people that I know who know what they're talking about, tell me that he can wrestle. So as far as I'm concerned, he can wrestle. So let's see what he's going to bring to the match, to the table. What's he going to bring to the feud, to the whole situation? Because I don't see any entertainment value in him other than the fact that I'm hearing he's a great wrestler. So we'll see.
We got Arcade Anarchy. This was the main event of tonight's Dynamite. Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy versus Miro and Kip Sabian. This was a wild brawl, very fun. I know a lot of people enjoyed this match, but I'm telling you guys, I could not give a single solitary shit about anything going on with this storyline. I'm just glad that this mercifully, hopefully, is over. And we can get Miro moved on from Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, and we can get him back to a single and just start developing some big name guys on Dynamite that are going to be in a singles capacity. Never mind these fucking tag team matches. False Count Anywhere. There was video game machines all over the place. There was a air hockey game on the outside. There was a table with prizes and all this shit. Everything you'd see at an arcade/carnival. That's what you're seeing. You're just, strewn about outside the ring. So Taylor and Cassidy, they were attacked before the bell. Taylor was pairing off with Miro, and Cassidy was with Sabian. Miro took Taylor, hit him with a fallaway slam as Cassidy sent Sabian through what was a whack-a-mole machine. Little fun fact, I'm excellent at whack-a-mole.
Oh, God.
Love me some whack-a-mole.
You're the best whacker I know, bro.
I'm going to develop a Bruce-a-mole. Whack-a-Bruce. And that's going to be the fucking game. Maybe I should put that in the venue. I'm adding an arcade game of something that's going to be great inside the venue. You guys are going to see in a little bit, a couple weeks. Maybe I should add, tell my guys, Whack-a-Bruce. I don't know.
Nope. Nobody whacks it better than
How about a Whack-a-Jesse, okay? How about that? Huh?
Nobody whacks it better than you, bro.
People be lining up around the fucking block to play that game.
Whack away, man. Whack away.
Miro came out of nowhere, leveled Cassidy before beating him down on the floor, then propped up a barricade. Taylor and Cassidy double-teamed him. Miro powered out, suplexed Taylor through the barricade. Miro grabbed the chair, which, I don't know, it said maybe the chair was like 15,000 tickets or so, something like that. Something that you'd probably see at Dave & Buster's. How many tickets you got to win at Dave & Buster's to win a fucking pen?
Oh, probably about 300-400.
20,000 tickets?
No, man, that's for the basketball hoop thing. 20,000.
20,000 tickets for a shitty fucking pair of headphones that'll break in 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay. Pretty much.
So Cassidy was there with Miro. Miro grabbed the chair, beat down Cassidy in the ring with it. He wedged the chair in the corner, sending Cassidy headfirst into it. I don't know where Taylor jumped off of an arcade machine to save Cassidy, allowing them to regain control of this match. Cassidy then took it to Miro, hit him with trash can lid as Taylor started to tee off on Miro with a kendo stick. So they were double teaming Miro here. They used the barricade as a battering ram. The one that he went through earlier, they used it as a battering ram, took down Miro before dumping a table and the barricade on top of him. Cassidy went for a cover, but Sabian came out of nowhere, broke up the cover. Sabian made a big one-man comeback here. Both guys drop kicking Cassidy through a wall, which looked great. And then Taylor cut him off, sending him into the ring. Taylor grabbed a teddy bear that was on the table around ringside, and the teddy bear was kind of taped up. It looked like a raggedy teddy bear, so he pulled the tape off the teddy bear and he dumped what was Lego pieces that were inside. There was no stuffing here, folks. This teddy bear was stuffed with Lego pieces, so Lego pieces all over the ring. And then Taylor tried to suplex Taylor onto the Legos, but Sabian escaped and power bombed Taylor onto the Legos. That had to suck. Cassidy, it's actually, you know what? I would actually take a power bomb on the Legos instead of actually accidentally stepping on one. So I don't know about that, but let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Cassidy ran into a breakup of a pinfall. Cassidy hit a tornado DDT and then a very sloppy-looking beach break before hitting the orange punch. Cassidy would have won it, but Penelope pulled the official out of the ring and punted Cassidy in the nuts with a low blow. And after this, Penelope was going to attack Cassidy, but out of nowhere, Jesse, Kris Statlander popped out of one of those claw machines. You know, the one where you got to put like fucking $20 in to win a fucking little egg in the machine. The claw machine, and she pops out and she fisherman busters through an arcade machine at ringside. And after this, it's amazing that this woman came back from injury and they're having her do this big spot. She takes Penelope Ford, Jesse, and she fucking Michinoku drivers her off the apron through an air hockey table.
Right through the fucking table.
Right through the table. It looked fucking so great. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're throwing this woman right into the fire after you just had a knee injury.
Yep. I marked the fuck out too when I saw it. I was serious. I was walking around trying to do a few different things at one time. I tried to come and send you the invite to start this stream. And I went and put some dishes away, and I was walking by the TV, and I saw Statlander come out, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I could jump back to the couch, man. She's back. She's back.
So this is
fucking great.
This was awesome, and then we got Statlander coming back, and then Jesse's other favorite woman, besides Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Thunder Rosa, we had Trent's mother, Sue, makes her AEW return here. Trent is back. I thought he was going to be out for about 9 months. The guy's back. He looks great. So he showed up with his mother in the minivan. He gets a kiss from his mother, and the minivan rolled up. Best friends are all beating down Miro. Miro tried to fight them all off. Miro made his way to the minivan. Trent stopped that before that happened. Trent avoided a token machine or an arcade machine. This was not an arcade machine. I don't know what the fuck this was. It looked like it was a fake prop or something like that. Miro tossed this thing at Trent. He avoided it and tossed a chair at Miro before spearing him through a table that was propped up. And then Taylor hits a running power slam off the stage on Kip Sabian, and he made the cover on Sabian for the win. The best friends and Statlander, they all hugged in the middle of the ring, and then they gave Sue, who was sitting in the minivan in the driveway there at Daly's place, a thumbs up as the show went off the air. This was fun. Statlander being back is a major get for AEW. That's another major piece that they've been missing for about 9-10 months now. Trent is back. But never mind that, Jesse. I hope that this Sabian and Miro thing is over and we get Miro in a more, I would say, serious role, in a singles role on Dynamite, and we move on from this shit. I'm about tired of everybody. Even Orange Cassidy is losing momentum in this feud. I mean, when I saw Statlander come back, I was like, "Oh shit, Statlander's back!" And then I saw Sue's van come. I'm like, "Oh man, that's Sue. That's Sue." And then Trent got out. I'm like, "Man, I guess even Trent wanted to see Kris Statlander return." But okay, fine, whatever. It's like I was happier to see Sue than Trent. This whole feud has brought them all down. Yeah, I agree.
Nobody's getting over in this. Nobody.
I agree.
No. Yeah, and that machine, that arcade machine was that's one of the home arcade things that you build for yourself at home, and it's the inserts for the game. I mean, it's nothing. You're just basically paying for the housing and the decor, and it's pretty much hollow.
It's not actually a game.
It's a game, but it's nice. It's different from the original, legit, heavy ass arcade games. You just put together a decor housing, whatever, and there's a screen and a control board. But the technology today, you can get all of that information into a fucking damn near microchip.
Yeah.
For a Mortal Kombat 2 game, all you need is a screen and a controller, and everything else can be hollow, and that's what they are.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
the more you know. I thought it was actually a legit machine.
Xavier Woods just showcased them on Up, Up, Down, Down a long time ago, and you can get different games and set up a game room in your home without having to buy $1,000 worth of the original arcades. It's pretty cool.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, that was Dynamite, folks. Not a bad show. We got some major action tonight with the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. We got Statlander returning. Trent's mom was back. Sue was back. And we got the Omega and Young Bucks situation developing as well. So also Cody and the Nightmare family is kind of branching off into its own separate faction, with QT Marshall leading some and Cody and Arn Anderson and Dustin leading some others. We got a lot going on, man. A lot going on. And we got a lot of super chats to get through, guys. Let me read through these. But I want to thank you all for stopping by the channel and the podcast tonight. We're 1,200 deep tonight. Number one in the community, as always. I appreciate you guys. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 750. We're at 568 right now. And the super chats are open. Get them on in. If you guys want to hang out, we'll love to have you. And follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. And if you have not hit that subscribe button yet, please consider doing so. We got some more great content coming up all week heading into WrestleMania. We got Hoyts Reynalda with a $9.99 super chat. Hey, JD, great show. When do you think Britt Baker will get a chance to win the championship? And who is better looking right now, Edge or Christian? Well, Hoyt, we talked about that in the beginning of the show, about the Edge and Christian comparisons. And I do think Britt Baker wins the championship at Double or Nothing. Chemo the Therapist with a $5 super chat. Remember when Undertaker was a heel during the Attitude Era and he had the Ministry theme and he would cut promos in the ring with the music still playing? Yes. Why do you ask, Mr. Therapist? I don't see the point of your super chat. I don't know what you're implying, man. You may have to get back at me and tell me what you mean. William Robertson with a $5 super chat. Okay, Kenny Omega is starting to get that go-away heat, too. He's a shell of what he was in New Japan. Please send Don Callis back to Impact as well. William, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. He's got go-away heat. Who do you think he is, Baron fucking Corbin?
Go-away heat? Go-away heat sounds ridiculous, whatever. But for the people who want to constantly say stuff like he's nowhere near what he was in New Japan, I don't think he's trying to be. You don't want to be what you were before. You want to recreate yourself and do something different. Stop trying to compare him to New Japan Kenny. He's AEW Kenny now.
I don't know what these people want, man. We haven't even gotten this Forbidden Door storyline started yet.
I know.
Let it go.
Yeah.
I want to see you tell me Kenny Omega doesn't look like the Kenny Omega of old when he wrestles Rich Swann. Come on.
What?
Rick O'Shea with a $4.99 super chat. Best Dynamite main event in recent memory, bar none. Negative.
No.
Come on. We just had Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. We had that great fucking brawl with Moxley, Lance Archer, Good Brothers, Omega, and you want to talk about this main event? Plus, we had the street fight with the Best Friends versus Santana and Ortiz. You're talking about this main event? Come on, bro. Your standards must be very low, Rick O'Shea.
Let me say something else about that Thunder Rosa Britt Baker match. I'm not tired of it. I don't want to hear about it anymore after this week.
I agree with you.
I don't want to hear about it anymore. You can't come out every week and live off what you've done weeks ago. we get it. You deserve the time that you've had to come out for a couple of weeks and talk about it. But let's move on from this. Let's not let that be the catalyst of what you only want to talk about from now on.
Yeah. No, I agree. Jacob Donnelly with a $5 super chat. I thought the show was entertaining minus the QT stuff, which I thought was just bad. Next week's show, though, looks pretty stacked. That's how it usually goes, Jacob. It reminds me of the old Monday Night Raw formula where Monday Night Raw was live and then taped the next week and then back to live and rinse and repeat. Seems like the live shows were always great and the tape shows were always kind of 50-50 hit or miss. But that's the formula they're using until they get back to live venues and get out of this COVID shit. But Monday Night Raw, speaking of Raw is taped on Monday. So,
really,
for everybody that is dreading watching Monday Night Raw, you could dread even more. It's a taped show. It won't be live.
Why does it feel so different? When Dynamite is taped, I don't even know it's taped. I heard no spoilers. I didn't even know it was a recorded show.
Oh, because there's no fans there. They don't allow fans in the venue.
Really?
Yeah, there's no fans. You never notice when they're taped on nights like tonight, they never show the crowd?
No, I never noticed it.
Yeah, they never show the crowd.
I always see that they're constantly selling tickets for the venue. I didn't know that they ever having nights where they didn't have fans there.
Yeah,
I just thought it was a lower number.
You know how I could tell it's taped? Because the dubbed-in crowd noise is very, very loud and overdone. Tonight it was okay. Tonight is one of those nights, if you didn't know it was taped, you would never know.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Jacob, thank you for the $5, bro. I'll see you on Twitch more than likely tomorrow. Deshaun Turner, $9.99. Okay, decent show. Question for both of you. You think they have big scooters in Japan? Sorry, I forgot what I was saying. I see what you did there, Deshaun. What'd you think of that Matt Riddle quote-unquote botch, Jesse? I read a report saying that was actually planned for Matt Riddle.
Yeah, I don't get it. It makes no sense. I mean, you plan a botch like that, and now the people just think that the guy doesn't know what he's doing. It just makes him look bad.
Listen, if it was a real botch and he walked away like that on live television, I'm sure Vince would have ripped him a new asshole. But they were still live and they actually had him on Raw Talk. Don't you think that Vince would have pulled him from Raw Talk if it was a complete fuck up? And he did that.
Just bad creative.
I don't know. It's just bad creative. They're making him look like a fucking clown.
Yep.
Deshaun, thank you for the $9.99, brother. Jacob Donnelly with another $5 super chat. Also, Sue is more over than Ricochet. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Ricochet is buried, and Sue is more over than most of the catering department in WWE.
Jeez. I can't wait. I'm expecting Sue on BTE next week. I can't wait now.
Chris with a $4.99 super chat. Titus Catering's at it again. Bacon, mac, and cheeseburger. 80-20 blend. Fucking delicious, brother. I know.
80-20 is a little fatty, man. 85-15. 85-15.
Yes, I know. That's why I usually prefer my meat when I cook a burger. But with my meatballs, I do 50-50 beef and pork.
There you go.
There you go.
Now, your beef is at 90-10 because the pork is already fatty.
I usually do 90-10. When I just use beef alone, I don't usually just do beef meatballs. I always mix it with pork because it makes it a lot softer. But 85-15 for burgers and then 90-10 for the meatballs. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. You got plenty of your fats already in the pork, and this stuff is more interesting than Monday Night Raw, guys.
Yes.
So
I would rather sit here and talk food with Jesse than talk about how Baron Corbin showed up in the main event.
Oh God.
Magician Sapphire with a $10 super chat was I hearing things, or did the announcer call the Lucha Brothers and Laredo Kid versus Omega and the Good Brothers a trios title match? Is AEW planting the seed for trios titles? Yes. Tony Khan actually mentioned it. I think Cody said something along the lines of a trios championship coming as well, but it will happen this year. I'm pretty certain it will happen this year.
With all these factions they get now, those trios titles will become, they'll become like Freebird style depending on whoever has them. So now whatever faction has them, just put your best three up.
Yeah.
And that will make things very interesting. I do like that.
Robert Hall with a $5 super chat. Can I get one of those burgers, please? Of course you can. Just walk inside the venue and go up to the fucking bar and place your order. And go get yourself a fucking beer while you're at it, man. If you're old enough to drink, by the way. I don't condone underage drinking. And something, if I had kids, I'd let them drink. If they were 18, 19, I'd let them drink ahead. Just don't abuse it. And something to drink for Jesse since he'll be eating through a straw after Rosa is done with him.
Dude, I get it on good word that Thunder Rosa has hired her security team to watch me and keep me in my seat so I don't come and put her back in her place.
Listen.
That's just what I heard. It's what I heard. It's what I heard. It's what I heard.
Bring some OTS signage and she'll know what it is.
June 5th. I'm going to record it too.
DeVar Davis with a $5 super chat. If Edgar is the main event, Jesse's the GOAT. The GOAT versus the main event team, Jesse versus Edgar Survivor Series. Oh, that's right. I'm rooting Team Jesse. Oh, DeVar Davis. Look at you. All right.
That's smart. Look at that.
There you go.
He picked the winner. Look at that. Okay.
Jaden Vlogs with a $9.99 super chat, and he retracted his message. I'll get back to you in a little bit. I'm sure you donated a little bit later, Jaden. Thank you for the $10. Jose with a $24.99 super chats. Here's the 4-year anniversary of the greatest rant of them all, Battleground 2017 on OTS. Oh, man, you guys still mention that to me every fucking year, man.
I don't remember. What was that main event?
Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal in a Punjabi prison match with the great Khali coming back out.
And, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I gave you AIDS. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Jose, for the $25 super chat. Team 4 with a $5 super chat. Anyone who says this past Raw was better than Dynamite is a big ass kisser to WWE, like Bruce Pritchard and John Laurinaitis are. People power!
You know, I gotta admit, man, you know how I said I kind of like QT Marshall, and I mean, I get how some people might not like him, but I'm kind of enjoying this heel turn and what they do with him. I did not hate John Laurinaitis on TV and coming out and feuding with Punk and shit like that, dude. I mean, it's just so stupid that it was fucking funny to me. I'm sorry. It just made no fucking sense and looked idiotic. I just couldn't help but laugh at John Laurinaitis on TV. I'm sorry, man. It was fucking hilarious.
Jesse just admitted he liked people power on Monday Night Raw.
So fucking funny, dude.
Jesse just admitted he likes John Laurinaitis. Or laryngitis. Laurinaitis, laryngitis. Get the fucking clown off my television, man.
This guy coming out talking about how the new WWE 2K game was going to be better than Pac-Man. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. That shit was just funny. I'm sorry.
Jose, thank you. Thank you for the 25 and forward. Thank you for the $5, man. Jose with another $25 super chat. Why is Jesse off the hook on Monday nights? Bring his behind to the Raw review and have him suffer like the rest of us. Bro, Jesse doesn't even watch Raw. He doesn't even watch it all the way through. He just jumps on Destiny at like 9 o'clock.
I try. Usually the 45-minute mark is where they'll lose me. Like I'll be in it for the start, and then the first hour just gets kind of lame. But about 45 minutes in, I'm usually telling JD, all right, time for Destiny.
Yep.
Done.
Thank you, Jose, for the $25.50 in total, brother. It's a lot of money. Appreciate you. Susan D'Ambrosio with a $5 super chat. JD, you and Jesse make my Wednesdays with your AEW review. Also, I would pay to see Thunder Rosa take Jesse out. You might not have to pay for that, Susan. It may be coming on June 5th.
June 5th, dude. June 5th, come to Chicago. You'll see it.
Raging Girl Gamer with a $5 super chat. It's TLG Kevin's birthday in the chat, JD. Happy birthday to TLG Kevin.
Happy birthday. Did I see Mr. Cake's birthday as well about that?
Fucking goon. Mr. Cake's birthday as well?
Happy birthday, TLG. I saw happy birthday, Mr. Cake, earlier.
TLG, happy birthday, brother. What are you drinking at the bar, man? You can be sitting VIP with me. Raging Girl Gamer with another $10 super chat. Is there a female version of Blue Chew asking for a friend? No.
Pictures of me? Oh, that's about it.
Pictures of Joey Janela in a thong.
With Sunny Kiss?
With Sunny Kiss, yes.
Yeah.
There you go. George Isaac, thank you, Rage. George Isaac with a $20 super chat. Hey guys, that spot with Kris and MJF in the toilet, did it remind you of Stone Cold and Pillman back in the day?
I didn't think about that.
Me neither. You may be the only one, Mr. Isaac.
Yeah.
Thank you for the $20, brother. Appreciate you. Tan May with a... Well, I'm sorry, Jessica.
I was just thinking and wondering, like, how much time did MJF or whoever spend cleaning that toilet before they had to put his
that
face
shit
in?
was fucking bleached with Clorox about 6 times over, bro. Fuck out of here. Tan May with a $7.99 Australian super chat. AEW needs to sign Fuego del Sol, the master of the Tornado DDT. I don't know who the fuck this is. Fuego del Sol. Who the fuck is this guy?
Fuego del Sol.
You know who's in Fuego? JD.
Oh, God. You don't want.
You know who's not in Fuego? The rest of the IWC. They're a bunch of fucking hacks. Thatch. Who?
QT just beat Fuego.
Who?
QT.
QT. Fuego.
Yeah, he beat Fuego.
Okay. QT. Q-tip.
Oh, man.
Thatch D. Blake with a $10 super chat. Yesterday was my birthday. I'm thinking about joining the OTS family. Yeah, I may be 18, not old enough to drink, but hopefully your bar is still not age restricted to listen. You can join. You can get inside the venue, man. You can get in. There's no cover charge. Unless there's a band playing. But there's Shirley Temples, there's ginger ale, there's apple juice, there's orange juice for the kiddies at the bar.
Nah, you can drink. Look,
there's that non-alcoholic beer, which would never touch my lips at the bar. Listen, you could come in.
You can drink. Here's a spoiler for you. JD does not have a liquor license. So, just drink. So
I just said I don't condone underage drinking, you clown.
No. You just said you can let your kids drink at 18 if you wanted to.
Yes, if I'm a parent and I'm at home monitoring them.
Hey, it's your bar. No liquor license.
All right.
Serve whoever you want. You're already illegal. What difference does it make?
Listen, Thatch, if you want to join the community, hit the join button and you'll be sitting VIP, man. I'll get you something. I'll get you an old duels.
Oh, God.
Francis Loop with a $10 super chat. Here's a logic gap. How come Britt Baker did not sell her injuries from the Lights Out match? If she supposedly got her head busted open, how come she didn't have a white bandage on her forehead?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, buddy. 2 weeks ago. Just like when Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch had their match, and Sasha Banks didn't have any limp or fucking bandage on her body when she walked out of Hell in a Cell with Becky Lynch. I remember that.
Nobody is limp when Sasha walks around, man.
Listen, man, this is a PG-13 show.
Are we a family show now? Now we're a family show? Yeah.
Francis Luke, thank you for the $10 super chat. P Mac with a $10 super chat. What's up, JD and Jesse? I'll be 39 on Saturday. I was born with a brain leisure. The doctors told my mom they wouldn't give me till the age of 18. Well, here I am, 39 on Saturday. Hashtag Stupid Express. Hashtag wee. P Mac.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Happy fucking birthday, bro.
Yes. Awesome. That's awesome.
We're happy to have you in the family, brother.
Absolutely.
Gerald Cormier, $8 super chat. Not sure if I'm allowed to bring this up on AEW tonight. What are your views on WWE's greatest women's wrestlers list? They have Charlotte as number 2. Oh, really? Not number 1? I'm surprised. I'm shocked.
So wait. All right. I haven't seen this list. Don't tell me. Charlotte's 2 on their list? Okay, so let me guess. So 1, they probably put fucking Trish Stratus or something.
Bro,
right?
Lacey Evans was on the greatest women's wrestlers list. She was in the top 50.
Just by that week?
No, of WWE ever.
WWE ever in 2021?
No. Ever. Lacey Evans. And wasn't even Marie on the list, or who was on the list? Naomi? Or no, I mean, I wouldn't even put Naomi. Dana Brooke? Wasn't Mandy Rose on the fucking list? Whoever made the list is a blithering idiot. And no, the list sucks, okay? The list is fucking trash. Charlotte won't even be in the top 10. Fuck out of here.
Oh, great. Now my fucking
13, what is it, 14 now? 14 world championships she's got. How many of them do you remember? I'll give you a hint, folks. 0.
That's so bad.
Laura Conway, $2.99. Hope you're having a great night, JD and Jesse. And by the way, I'm going to go back on this Charlotte Flair thing. How many wrestlers has she made in the ring? 0. Sasha's made people. Bayley's made people. Becky's made people. Charlotte. Nobody.
Charlotte made
Charlotte, yeah. She also buried Rhea Ripley's career.
Charlotte has made Rhea Ripley's career what it is right now.
Buried.
True. Yeah, fucked up. Yeah.
Laura Conway, $2.99. Hope you're having a great night, JD and Jesse. Thank you, Laura. Big Ben, $1.99. Your favorite dentist says go Pirates. Fuck the Pirates.
See?
Britt Baker.
Trish was 1. I knew it. Trish was 1. I knew it.
Becky was number 3.
Becky was
Sasha
3.
was number 6. How is Becky number 3 over Sasha? What has Becky done that Sasha hasn't done? I don't really get that. What'd she do? Bleed? Get her nose broken? Main event WrestleMania? Feud with Ronda? That makes you number 3? What has Becky done?
In kayfabe land, here's what WWE could have done to avoid all of this from this little imaginary list. The top 4 should have been the 4 horsewomen. In no particular fucking order. Just would have been blocked in there, the 4 of them, the best. I mean, say what you want about them all, especially Charlotte, but they collectively brought the eyes that they needed to women's wrestling. Yeah, so I would put the 4 in the top 4. After that, it's subjective.
Listen, Issa puts LOL, but she's right. What did Becky do? Get pregnant? Yeah, let's put her number 3.
Yeah, number 3. That's
she gave up the women's championship and got knocked up in the height of her career. Yeah, we'll put her number 3.
She's number 3 all time.
Yeah,
of all time.
Yeah, she got pregnant. Let's put her number 3. Becky Lynch has had great matches with Charlotte. She's had great matches with Sasha, but none of them are defining revolutionary matches. Sasha has had defining revolutionary matches and really is the standard bearer for the women's division and the women's revolution, both her and Bayley. So in my eyes, if you really, I don't even think I'd put them at number 1 because it's too early. She's 29 years old.
Yeah.
She's got a whole fucking career ahead of her. Yep. These lists are always subjective, folks. They're made by some fucking pencil neck geek in the fucking editing department, and it's put together to make idiots like us bitch about it on social media.
Now, lists like that, if the fact that these 4 women are even in the talk of being the greatest ever, it's how bad that the women were treated in the course of the history of WWF/E. It's because what these women have done in the last few years does kind of supersede the way that they've been booked in the last 20 or 30.
Wait a minute. Justin Striplin in the chat, he donates quite often on the stream. He says WWE put Chyna at number 4 on the list. Chyna is more revolutionary than both Becky and Charlotte combined.
Chyna can't wrestle for shit.
But it's not about her wrestling. It's about what she did. Yes. And the position that she held. The fact that she got cheated on by Triple H and dumped by Triple H, and Triple H went with Stephanie McMahon. That's why they didn't put her over their blondes.
Yeah, I think that's a question too for that list. Are we talking the best wrestlers, or are we just talking the best characters for what they've brought to the women's division? Because I put Chyna in the top 2 or 3. But in ring work, I'm not putting Chyna anywhere near.
And the list is just completely trash, just by what Daryl said. No sensational Sherry.
Yeah, so is it wrestling or not wrestling? Now I'm confused, because if it's not wrestling, then why is Sherry not there?
Was Miss Elizabeth on the list is what I want to know.
If it's not wrestling, Miss Elizabeth should have been way up there.
If Miss Elizabeth should be number one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Every woman that came after Miss Elizabeth was directly influenced by Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah. So now I'm wondering how was that list populated? Is it wrestling or just what they've done for the women's division entirely? Because that could be two separate lists.
I don't know. The list is trash. That's all we can say in the end. The list is trash. And so is everybody's opinion that thinks Charlotte is the best wrestler in the world. No, sorry.
No.
Jason Walker with a $5 super chat. Good night, JD and Jesse. Much respect and love for you both. Keep up the great work that you do every day on YouTube. Jesse, stay safe. Dream of Dr. Baker, he says.
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Gerald Cormier. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Wait, I'm sorry. They put AJ Lee on the list at 19? They put her on the list, which is already first and foremost. They actually put her on the list. But then, too, they put her down at 19?
Who's above her is what I want to know.
Everybody above her is now in question.
Who's number 18?
I want to know. Everybody above her is in question compared to AJ Lee.
Who's above AJ Lee on that list?
Let's pull up this list.
Yeah, you find the list. I'm going to read Gerald Cormier's super chat. $5. Khan needs to build up his women's division versus looking at outside stars. However, who makes a bigger statement going over to AEW? Banks or Bailey? Banks. Dean with a $5 super chat. Eva Lise has been going through some personal stuff. Has been losing and regaining weight, supposedly. Hope she's okay. It's got to be something personal. That's what I said earlier.
Of who?
Eva Lise.
Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. Something's up.
Jaden Vlogs with a $4.99 super chat. One day Jesse should be on the Raw review. One day it would be great to see both of y'all rant. But good night, JD. Thank you, Jaden. I'm still waiting to know I'm still waiting to find out who number 18 is.
Hold on, I got the list pulling up right now.
Hoyt with a $4.99 super chat. When do you think Kenny will lose the title, or the Bucks, or Darby? And who for all three? Bro, why are we talking about Kenny Omega losing the championship? He hasn't even defended it yet, really.
There's no reason to talk about that.
No reason. Dragon316 with a $10 super chat. It's a shame that Trent calls his mother is more over than Braun Strowman. Well, it's a shame that Trent calls mother is more over than Braun Strowman. Bro, my fucking hot piss in the morning is more over than Braun Strowman. Edgar Estrada with a $20 super chat. What's up, man? JD, bro, this was a fun show. The Inner Circle whooping that Pinnacle ass was the highlight for me. Kris Statlander is back. Watch my daughter pop hard. For that was great. Another banger review. Jackass hit some points, though. Peace, bro. He usually does, Edgar. That's why I have him here. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, that guy.
Gerald Cormier with a $5 super chat. WWE Creative puts all kinds of crap out. Most of the IWC accepts any kind of crap. WWE doesn't appreciate their best. IWC doesn't appreciate you guys. Sounds about right, Gerald.
Yeah.
Sounds about right, man. Who's number 18? Shayna Baszler's number 18?
Number 18, Shayna Baszler.
List is trash.
All right. 19, AJ Lee. 18, Baszler. 17, Paige.
Nah,
16.
AJ's more influential than Paige. I'm sorry.
16.
Go ahead.
Sable.
I would put Sable over AJ Lee.
So again, my question is, what are we talking about here?
We're talking about women who had influence to the WWE product. It doesn't mean wrestling.
Let me read what the title of the list says. WWE rank 50 greatest women superstars. That's what it says.
Okay.
So subjective, but I guess look, Sable probably wrestled all of 4 matches. So we're gonna say it's just influential character and what they brought to it. It's not just wrestling.
Yeah.
All right. So let's look at that then. So we've got Sable 16, Molly Holly 15.
Nah, AJ's more influential than Molly Holly.
AJ is not over Molly Holly. Okay. Victoria, 14. Alexa Bliss, 13.
Without AJ Lee, there would be no Alexa Bliss.
No.
So how are you putting Alexa Bliss over AJ Lee? What has she done on WWE TV that's influential? She can't even wrestle.
Get on top of Randy Orton.
I can't say things like that. Otherwise, I'm going to get fucking ousted over here.
See, there you go.
You said it.
You see how they edit that part completely out of the replays?
Yeah. Well, his wife was against it.
Yeah, I can't get pissed off. We've got Molly Holly, Victoria, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James at 12.
Mickie James, that's a tough one. Mickie James, I put over AJ.
I don't know. No, Mickey's awesome. I don't know.
Who's 11?
11, Beth Phoenix.
I would put Beth Phoenix over AJ.
All right, so here we go. Number 9, Ronda Rousey.
That's a toss up, man, because without Ronda, there's no Revolution. There's no main event of WrestleMania. You know, so I'm just by default, I'm gonna have to put Ronda over AJ.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. We can go in all night on that. I know. Ronda had her name when she came in. Ronda just brought her name. She just literally just brought her name. You know.
It is a toss-up because without AJ Lee opening her mouth and really going to bat for the fucking locker room, then you know we're getting 2-minute women matches now. But
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, really.
But
it wouldn't have improved from what they had before.
No, it wouldn't have never changed. So it's tough. It's a toss-up. Alita is more influential than AJ. Yes.
Alundra Blaze.
Alundra Blaze is yes. I put over AJ.
That is 7. So now we get 6, 5, and 4. Sasha, Asuka, China.
I don't know, man. You know, I feel like WWE said it's just about influence, but the top of the list is more about in ring. You know,
they're just changing it up. Maybe they're going with the people who were wrestlers. What did their in ring work do to influence women wrestling, and the people who were characters, what did their characters do to influence women wrestling?
It's tough. That list is fucking awful. It's a joke.
China, Becky, Charlotte, Trish.
What makes Trish number 1 and not Lita? I mean, they're one and the same.
Trish is blonde.
Probably right.
Trish was an overall bigger character than Lita was.
Yeah, I guess. The whole list is trash. Fuck.
It is. Let's drop down a little before that 18 spot though. Look at this. So number 19, AJ Lee. Now we're gonna go backwards. Number 20, Natalya. But watch this. 21, Rhea Ripley.
Jesse, stop reading the list. It's fucking garbage. Rhea Ripley at 21.
Rhea Ripley.
At number 21, she's not even 21 years old. What is she, 23? What has she done to be ahead of everybody else on that list?
Tell you what, I'll finish out the top 30 because it gets so fucking comical here. We've got Michelle McCool at 22. And then we got Stephanie, Luna Vachon, Io Shirai, the Bella Twins are both at 26. Melina, Ivory, I don't even know who the fuck 29 is. Bull Nakano.
She's a Japanese superstar.
Number 30, Naomi.
Rhea Ripley is above all of those names?
Rhea Ripley is more, by WWE's account, Rhea Ripley is more influential to the women in WWE than Stephanie McMahon.
All right, fuck this list. Burn the list. Get it out of here. I don't want to hear no more.
Stephanie McMahon.
I don't want to hear anymore. Get the list out of here. This shit sucks. It's fucking pissing me off now.
just by their own
WWE does this to get a reaction out of you. They got a fucking reaction out of you. Is Tamina's question. Is Tamina Snuka on the list?
No, sorry, sir. She is not. But Maurice is here. Lacey's 39.
Burn the list.
Bianca Belair has been in WWE on the main roster for how long?
Burn the list.
35.
Get it out of here.
By WWE standards and what they told us, Stephanie McMahon invented women's wrestling. But yet there are 22 other women that were more influential than she was.
Oh. Adam Hernandez with a $20 super chat. Sasha versus question mark. AEW's women's roster. Book it. Thunder Rosa. Jericho, 8131 with a $5 super chat. WWE has killed so much of my passion as a fan lately, but tonight's Dynamite revived some of that. Who's the best faction in AEW right now? It's got to start at the top. You got the Pinnacle and you got the Inner Circle.
I got a better question. Name how many factions do we have in AEW?
I don't know.
There you go.
I lost count. Michael Reed with a $5 super chat. JD, Jesse, and OTS family, love you guys. Do you guys think that there are too many factions in AEW? Do they benefit? Why or why not? Corbin on Raw makes no sense. Monday Night Raw makes no sense. There are too many factions. Do they benefit? Maybe with another 2 hours of television, yeah.
Time will tell. We'll see. They are getting faction heavy, but they're branching into new shows, and they're now sitting in creative saying, fuck, we got a lot of factions. We got to start balancing this shit. Let's see how they balance it. Let's see how they play it out. Let's see.
Matt Eagle, $4.99. Hey, JD, it's my best friend's birthday today. And want to make his day, if you can shout Bruce with your classic goon call. I'm not sure what you want me to do. I'm going to try here, Matt, for your best friend's birthday today. You want me to do Bruce in the goon call? Which one? Oh, yeah, Bruce. Or you want me to do the classic internet coward? Oh, but JD, but Bruce is a genius, man. Which one do you want? I can give you Braun Strowman too. Hey! Dummy. Varone. Edgar Estrada with $10 super chat. Thank you, buddy. Happy birthday to two great goons, TLG Kevin and Mr. Cake. Somebody run fast to Titus Catering to pick up 2 cakes. Woo-hee! And just hop on the Strowman Express. He'll get you there in no time.
Man, those super chats are getting smaller and smaller by that guy. Used to be 100, now they're down to a quarter or some shit. I'm just saying,
Edgar alone. Leave Edgar alone, clown. Okay?
Hard times.
Jason Walker with $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Gerald Cormier, $5 super chat. Trish is number 1. Becky number 3. Sasha number 6. Burn it. Christian Larson with a $5 super chat. Canadian Braves will be seeing Lindor a lot for the next 10 years. Got extended for $340 million. Meanwhile, Acuna and Albies contract combined are worth less. I'll take Acuna and Albies over Lindor any day of the week, bro. Any team's paying anybody $340 million. You're a bunch of fucking retards. Nobody's worth $300. Listen, Greg Maddux was one of the greatest pitchers of our lifetime, and he never made $340 million. You fucking serious? Just fucking pissing away money at that point. 64 pan, and the Mets will choke anyway. Like they always do. $4.99, 64 pan Q. What's up, OTS fam? Happy birthday, Mr. Cake, he says.
There we go.
I'm happy, or I'm hoping that Archer takes the TNT title so we can get Miro versus Archer. Book it, please. OTS number 1. We'll see, man. Sounds like an intriguing matchup with Miro and Archer. Thank you for the $4.99, 64. Michael Reed with a $2 super chat. By the way, screwball with grape juice. Holy shit. That's a Jesse drink right there.
Told you, man. It tastes like legit peanut butter and jelly, bro.
Nate with a $4.99 super chat. Glad to know I'm not the only 18-year-old here and can't wait for blood and guts like I can't wait for Thunder Rosa to pile drive Jesse through a table. I don't know if it's going to be that brutal, but we'll see.
Maybe the inverted pile driver. We'll see. I don't know.
Also, he says, Jesse fears Estrada.
Oh, yeah, man. You know, I don't want to get super chatted on.
Jason Walker with a $2 super chat.
That's his finishing move, super chat.
This podcast on Wednesday nights are fucking great. I know, Jason. Thank you. Thank you for telling me something I already know. Appreciate you, brother. Gerald Cormier, $15 super chat. Lacey's number 39. Bailey's number 10. Baszler's above AJ. My mind is cramping. Just rip up the fucking list, bro. Just rip it up. Some fucking pencil neck hack in WWE editing made that list. DX for life with a $5 Australian. Great show, JD and Jesse. They mentioned that Miro wants to focus on wins and titles, so surely he turns on Kip now. I can only hope.
Even if for weeks they won't pull the trigger, man. Like they scared to fucking separate them.
Zerkz 181 with a $2.99 UK super chat. Can you do the Braun? Gerald Cormier with a $5 super chat. Speaking of Braun, the fact that he chose to fight with Shane McMahon over a WWE title opportunity is ridiculous. None of it makes sense, Gerald. None of it. And then like a dummy, he's like, oh, I want a steel cage match because it'll keep your goons out of the match. Like you never watched a fucking steel cage match in WWE before. What are you, you're new around here, Braun?
Apparently.
And then we got Who You Calling Pinhead with a $4.99 super chat. He says, I find it strange that Mae Young was not on the list. I thought she was one of the greatest women in WWE history, according to WWE. Maybe I'm wrong.
Good point.
I don't know, man.
Or Moolah. What happened to Moolah?
Yeah, well, Moolah. Well, go research some backstory on Moolah. You'll know why she's not there.
Yeah, really.
All right, guys. It is 1 a.m. here on the East Coast. I'm about to get the hell out of here. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you to everybody that super chatted tonight. I love you all. We had 1,300 in the live stream tonight. Number one, no question, tonight in the community. We got 619 likes. Let's try for 750 before we get out of here, guys. I appreciate you. But if you guys want to check out anything else on the channel, go and check the description down below. We got Monday Night Raw from Monday. We got Friday coming up with SmackDown. OTS 371 coming up on Saturday. Critiques and Connoisseurs has Santana of the Inner Circle on Saturday, man. You're not going to want to miss this one. Easily the best episode of all the episodes we filmed in New York City, man, for the CNC. Issa, good night. Thank you for stopping by, as always. As well as everybody else. Thank you guys for stopping by. Follow me on Twitter, man, at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. DrSquatch.com. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 20% off. Go get your t-shirts. Bonfire.com is the home of Off the Script. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. We got Mr. Griffin with a last-minute $50 super chat. Mr. Griffin, whoa, you fucking beast. Mr. Griffin, what are you drinking at the bar, Mr. Griffin? Holy shit. It's a lot of money, man. I appreciate you.
30 more of those, man. You can become a mod, too. It's awesome. All right.
Will you leave Edgar alone, please? Fucking Christ. All right, guys, you know what time it is. Mustangs outside. Engines on. Windows are down. I got my cold beverage. Jesse's got his cold beverage. I want you guys to turn that music up to full blast, man. Give me those guitar emojis in the chat. I will see you back here live on Friday night for the SmackDown post show on Off the Script. See you guys later.